Is this just what the resurrection feels like? From the other side, from the other side, from the other side. Darker day and into the brighter night.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Dark Shadowdaze. I'm your host and dungeon master, Malcolm, the gentleman game master. This is our party here, who we are now calling the Feathers. The Feathers work for, or are guided by, the Raven Queen, have been sent here to the dark lands of Barovia to end the tyranny of the Devil Strahd. Josh plays Einar, a dwarven bard. Who plays a hurdy-gurdy and does some, and you don't want to be near him when he casts Shatter. Eddie plays Bavo, a red dragonborn fighter, who's always willing to put himself out there on the line for his party, and whose last game scored some major hits against Strahd himself. Nikki plays Eldith, who is a dwarven paladin oathbreaker who just recently learned that part of her soul was not ripped away, and that the evil that she's done in her past was just her. And so with that, as she settles in, some interesting things are happening. Our great buddy here, Nick, is playing Fate Argo, as you can see, so decadently dressed with his monocle. He is a gunslinger, and just recently was playing Tav, who we lost, I believe, 2 episodes ago. Who was a monk fighter, who the party is still hurting, hasn't had a time to process and kind of share their pain over. When we last left off, the party was leaving Ravenloft itself, but in this very weird dream state that had been invoked possibly by the Raven Queen herself, they were able to defeat Strahd. They were able to topple Ravenloft itself from its very foundation. And as they walk away in the early morning there, and the mist settle in the Barovian morning hour, the fantasy begins to fade. But what lingers, what they start to realize, they're back in the same world, the no longer in the past, and that they have not actually killed Strahd. But one thing that they do know, they kind of feel it somewhere deep inside, is that they hurt his pride. They showed him, and they showed themselves, probably more importantly, that he can be hurt, and therefore he can be killed. There are a lot of threads open right now, and a lot of things that they can do. And one of the big things to just mention is that the title card on our screen would read now 3 official days before the coming of the Blazing Sun Festival, which has always been something that's going to happen in Vallaki at the end of the week under the leadership. Oh, we lost Nick again. Under the leadership of the Baron Volakovich. Maybe we'll have him kill his roll 20, because we probably won't need it that much today. Maybe that'll help. I'll tell him when he gets back. So with that, we will go ahead and begin setting the scene as you guys are walking there in that morning. And I'll really just turn it over to the party. I don't think you guys have had a good chance to just role play with each other in a while. And so we'll begin that way. As you are traveling away from Ravenloft, it's probably around 6 a.m. right now in the morning. And you're traveling away down the hill. If you are on Roll20, I will point to where you're at over up in K, you can actually see your little marker there. And if you can see me pinging, let me know if you don't. That just means I'm on the wrong layer. That is where you are, in the road that leads down there, all the way down to the gates. If you are headed to Vallaki, it's up here. And we can kind of pick up if you guys have any questions about how long it will take to get there and things like that. I'll feed that as we, as you all share. So turning it over to you.
And so that happened.
Oh man, I don't know about you, but at least I'm feeling pretty pumped up here. I get the sense we have a chance. We can do this.
Strangely enough, I also feel more powerful than when we started.
Yeah. It's still been tough. Our good friend Tav lost.
We will drink in his honor. But if you will indulge me, I have an idea. We have so much still left on our plate to accomplish, and we have not heard anything from the Martikals. Time is running short to reconsecrate this church to protect Vallaki.
Indeed.
If you remember, there is supposed to be a fortune teller in Barovia, in the village. Perhaps she could give us some hint with her magic where the bones might be, because I don't see any other way of finding them before the festival. What do you think?
I feel like that sounds like a good idea.
How far is it?
I can't say with confidence. I mean, it only took... The village of Barovia should be closer to the castle than Vallaki, shouldn't it?
Now, I will say that this party has never encountered the Vistani fortune teller Eva inside of Barovia, so I'm not sure they actually know where she is. Now, if you have a hunch and you want to travel there, maybe I made a mistake.
Because I know we met her on the way in,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think we were told about her again either at the Vistani camp or in Vallaki.
It was back towards Barovia. I believe it was the Vistani camp when they told you she was back towards Barovia, the other camp. Yep. So you're right. So it would be a mission to go search for her, and just think that every 4 squares is about. If you're traveling fast, you can travel about 4 squares in an hour, with them being about 3/4 of a mile.
Can we cut through the trees and go from K to E?
Well, it's on a mountain, I think.
That is the thing. Yeah, you would literally be scaling the side of the mountain, which would probably take longer. And would come with some survival checks and possible random encounters. And I'm only saying that, I guess that translates as your characters. You'd probably be thinking more about the dangers of the forest, the dangers of leaving the road, the dangers of the wilderness.
Because either way,
but you can do it.
I just want to be back in time for the festival, since apparently we have to perform something with dead Tav.
I'm less concerned about the performance itself than reconsecrating the church, because I don't think the performance or the festival will be safe without the church's reconsecration. So it won't matter because you have to think, this is the first time that they've had these festivals unprotected from Strahd and his minions. So if they have a anti-Strahd festival for the very first time without protection, what is to stop him from burning the village to the ground?
Yeah, good point. I say let's make our way there.
Do we have any we're on foot, correct?
You are on foot right now.
Oof. All right, well, let's Let's go.
And so, as you guys hunker up and start to travel, walking away from the castle down a windy, the hill, a windy road that closes very close to the side of the mountain. There are moments where there is a sheer drop off, right, where it's like you in the road and the mountainside, and a couple steps over, you would fall into a fog, into a mist to your death. But all keeping level headed, knowing how to travel without any issue, you continue to make your way down. Within the next hour, you find yourself you've worked your way down to like a plateau where you're almost at the lower part of the hill. The mountain road kind of levels out, and there on that, like I said, literally on that plateau, you get a bit of a kind of a chill, and you see something. There's a moment where there's a point where like basically the mountain is now meeting the forest. So you can see the forest and you can see the fog beyond. And the dirt road is splitting in two directions. You know which direction leads towards Valaki, going west. And there's a bit of a cobblestone patch that lets you know that this road used to be a more important thoroughfare at one point. But there, parked in that area on whatever's left of that cobblestone, is a large black carriage drawn by two jet black horses. The horses snort a steamy breath and into the like chill of the mountain air, and the side door of the carriage slowly slides open. The rider sits atop the carriage with a large top hat, but sits so low, and the collar of his jacket goes up so high, making out his face is strangely almost impossible, even though it is not night with the fog and with the grayness of the morning. You would have to get a bit closer, but it sits there, and he seems to kind of wave a black gloved hand, beckoning you to get inside. Now, of course, this is all up to you, but
Stranger.
Does anyone else feel that is extremely not okay?
It's always something. Do you want me to shoot some fire at it?
anybody want to make any type of checks, or anybody trying to perceive anything particular, or?
Yeah, can we tell? Do we know this person? Have we seen this before?
I don't know if you've seen him before, but you willing to give me maybe a perception check, Eldith?
Go for it. How appropriate. It's my background.
Oh, wow, it really is. That is it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A 10? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Eldith, at first you're like looking, just you as Eldith are looking to see like, who is this? And then you start to feel that darkness kind of pulling inside. You almost kind of have a gravitational pull towards the figure. Not like that literally pulls you to move towards it, but almost like feeling like a connection. And you get the feeling that it is most likely a rider, a carriage that transports visitors, those welcome to and fro from Ravenloft. So it definitely works for the rider. You have a feeling works for Strahd, and you feel that the beckoning hand is offering you a free trip to wherever you are looking to go. Now, depending on how you guys feel, to some of you that may be making a compromise and actually, taking a solid from Strahd, but I don't know. To some of you, this might be, I'll shut up from there. I will say Calden, while I'll try to play Calden there, I'm sure Calden is on his extreme guard and not very comfortable with it at all.
Yeah, no.
But not necessarily everyone else.
So does Eldith share her insights with us?
I would, and I would also say, am I certain that it's from Strahd?
You feel that way. You have a strong hunch, like it could only be, you can't imagine who else out here has such a it's old, but elegant enough to be, and dark enough to be no one else's but Strahd. On this road, on the very road that goes up to Ravenloft. Fade, are you there? Can you hear us, Nick? No, I think he's frozen again. Man, he's having.
Eldith, come on. What?
Okay, sorry, go ahead, Eldith.
What do you feel here? You're looking a little pale there.
Well, it seems like it's a carriage in Strahd's use that perhaps we could utilize, maybe get somewhere a little faster if we wanted to take a favor from Strahd.
I've learned not to trust Strahd's favors. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'd rather walk.
You'd rather take the time?
Better my time than Strahd's time.
Eddie, can
I was just yelling. I was going, hey, you, top hat. Where are you headed?
It doesn't. No response. The horse kind of. It just kind of. The horse kind of bucks a little bit, and it waves one more time slowly towards the door, and then dressed very well. Nice jacket. Humanoid. Looks to be male in terms of structure of the body. Einar and Eddie, want to give me a perception check?
Sure.
Alrighty.
Come on. Start it right. Real dice is the
16.
right way.
I'm so proud.
Oh, 17.
Oh,
Hey.
Yay!
So looking at this dragon, the Dragonborn Bavo, you also get the feeling that, listening to what Elda said, that this could be a one-way trip. Like this could, here's what you realize or what you think about is that taking the carriage, you all do know that to get to Vallaki right now, it will take you about 12 hours. At least that's 4 hours over an 8-hour travel time. And that's traveling fast if you're just all hoofing it on foot. At that 8-hour mark, you push exhaustion if you continue on. But you can continue on. So if you took this carriage, though, you could rest while riding and therefore not have none of the pushing, none of the exhaustion. But then again, You are in the darkest. You just came from the devil's house, and now you get in the devil's carriage.
Look. I know this doesn't look like a good idea, and the jester's a little kind of creepy. But I think maybe we just need a little break, and maybe he's just trying to find a balance. He could have killed us.
Well, what did I miss? I was too busy appreciating my latest painting.
Yeah. You're always appreciating your paintings. Focus.
So
Focus. I'm saying we take the carriage, and you can paint inside.
Yeah, and who cares if this is a really creepy carriage from Strahd? But
He's playing his games. He's playing his games, right?
So much faster.
So anybody want to fade in on what they just saw?
Yeah, we've encountered a very creepy carriage that is definitely from Strahd that we could use to get to Barovia, which is where we're planning on going to seek out the fortune teller.
Oh yeah, we're going to Barovia, right? Not Vallaki.
Barovia.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
First, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
That shot.
What do you think, Mr. Painter?
So we're all trying to decide if we want to accept this.
Well, and Fate turns to Eldith and he says, I am quite confident that you know how to find
Oh yeah, you guys are looking at about a 18-hour journey back to Barovia, a full day.
And
Come on. I'm already inside, and I'm just kind of like, come on. I'll blow some fire at him if we start going in weird direction, or he starts to touch me with that creepy hand. Let's go.
Bravo. As Fate walks up, hold that pose. That's a good one.
Like this?
Would you like a portrait?
Of course. Can we do that inside the carriage on our
No,
way?
right here. It's a good atmosphere.
So
Yes.
wait, how long is this painting? How long do you plan to paint right now?
He's already started painting.
I'll hold on to the
So
carriage.
the carriage is like watching him set up the painting
I reach
supplies, and even the dark creature like goes from looking super foreboding to like really, like kind of like leans back like, and you kind of see it go, oh, and then it looks back, and the carriage door slowly starts closing.
Hurry up! You can finish the rest. Just take a mental photo or picture or whatever you do. Painting, of course. It's the right era here. And come on in.
All right. I'll get in the carriage, but I'm going to complain the entire ride.
Okay.
You should write a song about it.
And so Einar, stomping and very slowly and under duress, climbs into the carriage.
So Calden is like, "What are we doing here? I feel convicted.
Calden,
by we shouldn't. We just. What is this? What if this is a trick? We shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be. He's pretty much trying to tell you we shouldn't be spending time entertaining Strahd. You of all people, Einar, I'm surprised at you. I need a persuasion check. I need someone to convince Calden to go.
Allow me.
Yeah.
That's why I have this skill.
come on, Calden. You can sit on my lap.
And of course, with a +9, it's still just a 12.
Okay. Actually, let me roll. I'm not going to add anything. I'm just going to see. Okay, you beat him because even if I don't have without pulling up his.
Come
sheet,
on.
I'm sure his charisma is not more than like +3, and I rolled a 6. So you got. You said what'd you roll? Wait, what'd you roll? A
12.
12. Yeah, so then you would still beat that. And I have a feeling that would be legit if I looked up his character right now. So he's like, I have a bad feeling about this. Lord, Father Lathander, forgive me and forgive them. They know not what they do. And he starts to kind of pray and step into the carriage. And slowly the door closes. And it's quite comfortable inside.
Wow.
Little almost like lace spider web like curtains kind of draw. And you hear the horses kind of, and the cart begins to move, and you start to realize this cart is moving faster than a normal cart should by any means.
I
And
hate this.
It's okay. Come on.
and at some point, who has the highest passive perception?
It's not me.
Mine's 13.
I have a 10.
Okay. Anybody higher than that? Who's got the highest?
Anyone higher than a 10?
Passive 10, yeah.
What is yours, Babo?
10.
10? Okay, so it's just 10. Einar a little bit higher? No.
13.
13. So it's maybe Einar as you guys are riding who
High
a little unsure. And you start to, at some point, Einar, you look over and Eldith is way too comfortable. And Babo's kind of trying to make the best of the situation. Colin is erect, like he's got to stick up his butt. He's just like, oh, I can't wait to get out of this thing. And time begins to march on. And as you look out, Einar, you see that the wheels are glowing and they have like a spectral flaming blue, and that the horses themselves' feet don't look like they quite touch the ground as this thing rolls on, almost feeling like it's floating. It's like sometimes it'll hit a corner and it feels like it's hitting that corner way too hard. It should, like, the whole thing should just turn over, and it feels like the back just ever so slightly shifts, and like makes contact with the earth and continues on through the mud.
Wow. I don't think I've ever been on a first class carriage ride here. It's like a bullet train here. Or bullet
Really comfy.
carriage.
So what are you guys talking about as you're taking this ride? Like the first few hours of the day.
Ava, keep that pose.
Oh yeah.
Keep it steady.
Okay. I'll stick out my pecs.
Yes.
Just for you, Fit. You're weird. You're a weird guy. But I like you.
This is all terribly unnatural.
So suddenly there's a moment about the 3.5 hour mark. You remember the road that you took. It looks very familiar on the Slavic trees kind of bending in like claws hanging over desperately on either side of the road. And suddenly there's a little dirt, muddy road going off to the left, and the horse jerks very hard, and all of you kind of move, and like Calden falls into Bobble's lap, and he's like, ah! And Colin's like, get off, and like pushes back. And you guys take this like detour down this really dark road. And as you're riding through this road, there's a bit of crackle, like light thunder in the distance, and you're riding down, and then suddenly you come around a bend, and there's a fog running across the lake. And right now it's probably like maybe 9:30 going on 10 o'clock in the morning. And there on this little patch, on this little shore by this lake, are a group of wagons. And you can see a bit of smoke going up, and you can see, people walking around tending to things. And one of the tents, or one of the wagons, you all immediately recognize as Eva's. You remember that little lady, and the way the whole wagon unfolded, the way she came out and shared her storytelling with you. But the writer, maybe mentally, whether you told him or not, is taking you to Barovia. So he continues on. He's like riding by. Now, what do?
Stop!
I'm pounding on the.
There's a huge. The horse is just an abrupt stop. Everyone goes flying forward. It's like a hard landing, and it's like they go from like 30 miles an hour to just abrupt stop. Everyone kind of slams again back against the seat, and the people are still there in the distance, right? And the doors.
Just a pit stop. Just a little pit stop.
And,
no, this is our stop. This is no more.
Nope.
And as the doors open, you realize that it appears to be a Vistani camp on the. So as you step out, the rider kind of tips his hat, and then
I flip him off. I give a very obscene gesture in his direction.
And he kind of does like that, and then he does like, and then a coin appears in his hand, and immediately it flies out of Einar's pouch, and whatever the gold coin, when he catches it, the coin turns black in his hand, and then dissolves into smoke in the dust.
Oh shit!
And then as though you just paid for the ride, and then he goes, and as he goes like riding off into the fog, before those horses hit the mist, they disappear.
Bravo, you owe me that gold coin. This was your idea.
Yeah, it was. All right. Here, take it. I hand him my gold coin.
Fight it.
So
it's still good. Come on.
As you guys approach the camp, there's horses all along the embankment. Actually, what I can do is actually take you to kind of also help set the scene, take you to the map, so you can kind of see a layout of this place.
See, Einar, look at that. They're right there. Isn't that fortune teller over there?
That's the one we are looking for.
Yep.
All right.
That's what I thought.
Yep. So you guys are down here by the road. Like, they guys just got like dropped off, like maybe right about here. So they don't see you yet. Kind of walking up, and there's a bit of a morning fire going. Couple of about 4 different wagons, and then you can see all the horses drinking water down by the lake. There is a bunch of tents set up, and off in the distance towards the shore, there's one tent that is a little bit larger, more grander than the others, and has a couple of like torches burning outside. How do you guys approach the group? And you see that people, both men and women, kind of doing morning chores, kind of buckets of water, and looks like they're maybe cooking morning breakfast. It kind of looks very normal. As one gentleman plays a very almost like a violin type instrument, very, very softly, almost in a very solemn way. It's not a very joyous atmosphere as you approach, but it could just also just be like maybe a ritual of the morning. What do you guys like to do?
Well,
Let's go say hi.
So as you are approaching, there is a female character who sees you. She turns around and she goes, "Ah, I see." And she seems to be looking off in the distance to the fog, and she sees Bavo kind of because he kind of makes that kind of. Did you just get off of the dark carriage? Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, friends of the Devil Strahd, I see.
It's complicated.
acquaintances.
I am Viviana, but they call me Vivi. If you are traveling in the carriage, then you are a friend of Strahd, and therefore a friend of the Vistani. Come. Would you like a drink? Morning. She says she came with a couple of guys, a couple males who were kind of sitting around in the morning. One is smoking a pipe, looks up, kind of with a big burly beard and a scarf around. He does not look happy as you all approach. He goes, "It is okay. They are friends. They are friends of the master."
Do we recognize anyone?
You don't recognize any of any of the folks so far. And so I'd probably say there are maybe 12 to 15 people in different, some of them down by the water, but around the campfire, probably between Vivi, there's probably like 4 other males who are just kind of, and then the one guy who's kind of playing that violin. And
I ask, Babo asks, I can't remember the name of the little girl and the father, but I ask if they are here.
Are you speaking of Luvash and Arabelle?
Yes, of course. We helped them out earlier, and just wanted to pay our respects, say hello.
Oh, well, this is not where they camp. Their camp is normally outside of Vallaki.
Ah,
You would know that if you were friends. Tell me more.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I forget those details.
We are Vistani. We are not all the same. We do know of each other's camps, but we do not run in all the same circles. We do not travel with them.
I see.
This is our camp. They have theirs.
Very well, very well. My apologies.
Give me a charisma check, Bavo.
And this is what happens when we let Pavel lead.
Yeah.
Profiling the natives.
Eldest
Shit.
pokes Einar and says in Dwarvish, "We should probably play along with the fact that we're Strahd's friends to avoid any trouble in this camp."
At this
And-
rate, it doesn't matter what we play, because Bavo's going to get us in trouble anyway.
And Fate
kinda
says
realize-
in Dwarvish.
What'd you get, Bavo?
Fuck, man. I got a 3.
The old 3.
I'm sorry, guys.
3.
Can I I'm
So you-
My
usually not
friend
leading.
over here, he is
I'm not
he's a
leading the
little
crew a
enamored.
lot.
As-
Yeah.
as Fate kind of takes his hand as he drags Bavo away.
A little hopped up here.
He gets a little rowdy and doesn't say things in the most intellectual of ways.
Whoa.
Well, I'm not offended by what he said. I am more concerned by what he said. And the countess kind of she's a little bit more abrupt now, and she's kind of standing forward. How do you know Lavash and Arabelle?
Allow me to explain. Please forgive his abruptness. What had happened is that we were in Vallaki on business, and we had found out that one of the...
What was your business in Vallaki?
We were passing through doing odd jobs, but as we were going out to the lake, we saw that
Odd jobs like adventuring, coming to kill the great Devil Strahd, and up and destroy everything that we have built here. That's
We
what
would-
normally happens when passerbys go to Vallaki.
We wouldn't know
They
anything
always
about that.
end up dead.
That does not sound like what we are up to. We just happened to be in the area, and we saved the little girl from one of the drunken natives of Valaki who tried to drown her in the lake. And then we brought him back to the camp for justice from Lavash. And the justice was quick.
She's quiet for a second. You can see her countenance, like her face expression, change when you say "saved Arabelle." You saved Arabelle from the drowning.
Indeed, he tried to drown her to bring him luck, but we put a stop to that as quickly as we could.
And so, what brings you here today?
We seek a fortune from the lady who we think resides here. We were on our way to Barovia to speak with her, but it seems that you are all on your way out of that area.
Madame Eva, huh?
That is the one.
Pass me the potion. And then the guy pulls out, goes in his pocket, he pulls out a vial of like a purple, very purple thing, and it says like X, like there's like 3 X's on it. She goes, if you trust, if you'd like to see Madame Eva, and then she pulls out several little tin cups. She goes, then you drink. And if you are actually friends of the devil, you will be fine.
Is this really necessary? Because we've already received a reading from her before, and this is
She
just
pours and she goes, she throws it back and throws the tin cup. And she said, like I said, you will be fine. You saved Arabelle, you drink, and if you want your fortune read, it comes at a price.
Eldith walks up and takes a cup.
Yeah, go, Eldith.
I'll take one too and clink with Eldith and salute. Good luck.
Knock it back.
Oh, really? What about Bobo and Fate? Eddie knows that when he plays in my home games, this would be one of those moments when I'd pull out real shot glasses and make everybody drink some dark liquid with
perfect
food
time.
coloring in it.
Well,
Oh,
I guess, and I'll take one. Babo takes it and salute, clinks with Eldith,
so after she's done,
Einar, and Fate. I told him I kind of gesture him to like paint this, and
Tate
you
takes the
are
glass and he kind of just like does like a flourish. A toast to our friendship
we're fucking dead.
as he downs it.
Oh yeah, we're so fucking bad.
Look at you all, so silly. So, don't you know only Vistani can drink Vistani death? That liquid is, first you're going to sweat, and then your bowels are going to give way for several hours, and then when your fever is high and you're sweating like a pig and you cannot move, you will expire.
Sounds very pleasant.
Don't think
I wonder if
you're
I should take
well-versed
that.
in the dwarven
feeling.
physique.
And she looks, and she goes. She looks at her. She goes, and one of the guy goes, "Yes, they are fearless. It is simply water with some coloring. So carry on." We play a little joke, yes, and she like slaps Einar on his back and slaps Bobo on the shoulders, and then she looks at Elder. She points. She goes, "You. If I feel like you were willing to drink the death. The others were willing, but for sure. But if it was the actual death, you would have been fine."
Thank you.
And so, and she goes, and she walks you over to Madame Eva's tent, and she kind of peeks her head inside. She pulls the curtains back. She says something back in Vistani, and she goes, "Should I send them in?" Yeah. Without further ado, she pulls the curtain, like purple curtain back with little gold frillies on it. Madame Eva. And so, inside, the little lady kind of turns around, and you remember the same kind of decrepit old. She might look like a hag if it wasn't for like her, her very well kind of dressed, a very flamboyant nature to her garments. She pushes a bunch of like bones and kind of rubies and stuff off the table. A couple of chests sit behind her and scrolls. And she pulls a deck of cards and slams it forward, and she kind of looks deeply and she's I remember you all. Come, sit down, sit. And then there's like, a couple little chairs around. What brings you to Madame Eva?
Seek
Well,
another read.
you seek is some way, you seek bones, yes? You seek for something. I see a desecrated temple, place, or not non-consecrated. So carry on. I'm sorry.
Of course, madame, you are wise to know why we are here, and we were hoping to beseech your aid in this quest.
Well, what do you want to know? I answer questions based on what is asked.
Where can we find these bones? And if you are able to answer, what guards them?
She pulls out a
Perhaps.
small little crystal ball. She sits and her nails kind of hover around it. She says, where have you looked for these bones so far?
We have been to one end of Barovia to the other. We initially attempted to find them in Vallaki, from whence they went missing, and then we left and went to the Wizard Winery on a task, and then we came all the way back to Ravenloft for a meeting, and now we have come here. So we have not been able to search as thoroughly as we would like.
You would be very foolish to think that you have searched Barovia from one end to the other, if that is where you've gone. But I can tell you this, it has been under your nose this entire time. The bones are in Vallaki.
With your great vision and all-seeing eyes, could you perhaps be somewhat more specific in where Vallaki we could find these bones?
The bones, they are in the... Yes. What I can say is that you must find the man. I am risking much. A man with a beard, with rough, callous hands. Somewhere, search the town, look for wooden boxes of death. And then, it's almost like somebody grabbed the back of her neck and she stopped speaking. Okay. Wooden boxes. A man with callous hands. And she speaks unless anyone speaks Vistani, she kind of starts to whisper. She says, but I do have a reading for you. She kind of looks and she rolls, her eyes kind of rolling back in there, and she seems to be kind of mumbling and doing something kind of trying to maybe cleanse the air of evil spirits that are around her so that she can do this. And when she feels comfortable, her eyes kind of come back. She seems quiet and content. She says, once before I read your fortune. I think it's best you understand what that was. And she tells you, I was looking at Bavel's numbers, have to kind of go back. What you guys never were officially understood is that, let me find it here. So the original card reading that I gave you on the mountain when you were not yet in Barovia, but in the territory of the Raven Queen. The raven symbolize the Raven Queen's mark on you, her call to action. She has your souls right now in the palm of her hand. The innocent card that was played represented a torn soul of one of you who would made a dark decision to do much cruelty. The tempter represented an unknown offer, a deal with the devil. The ghost represented the death of a party member that has now, I feel, happened. And then lastly, the beast, represented a undead dragon that stood in your way, which I think you have probably seen. Hopefully that gives you some understanding of what you've been through. The cards I play here today, I feel compelled, will give you guidance on the steps that you take from here going forward. I can only tell you this: as she plays the first one down, she flips it over. The traitor. I'll play it here. The traitor. And so what she says is, this card tells the history, the knowledge of an ancient who will help you better understand your enemy. And so with that, traitor, gotta find it here. It will be, so you want to look for a wealthy woman, a staunch ally of the devil. She keeps the treasure under lock and key with the bones of an ancient enemy. So that is the first card. She then plays out the second, which is the soldier. The soldier will tell you where to find this card tells of a powerful force of good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope. You will find this. Go to the mountains where it is cold. Climb the white tower guarded by golden knights. This is where you will find this treasure. She then plays the third card. And I'll also post these after games so you guys have them, but feel free to take notes for this game as you. Yeah, I know. The Paladin. The Paladin is the third card. The Paladin this card tells of a power and a strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight. This is found on the Paladin, and where that will be found is finding it. Just gotta like talk to those spirits, kind of keep figuring it out. Okay, so I see a sleeping prince, a servant of light, and a servant of light, and a brother of darkness. The treasure lies with him. So any questions? And then the last two cards, the last card will be the Raven. Who'd have thunk? And then, second to last card is the Raven. And this will tell you of this card sheds light on who will help you greatly in the battle against darkness. And this will be to shed a little bit more light. Find the leader of the feathered ones who lives amongst the vines. He is no longer old, but he has plenty of fight left in him. And actually, instead of lives amongst the vines, she changes that to lives amongst the high walls. And then lastly, she plays the mist. And with the mist, she says, last but not least, your enemy is a creature of darkness whose power is beyond mortality. This card will lead you to him. But the card itself cannot see where the evil lurks, and therefore the mist obscures all. So those are all been read out to you. Now, outside of game, just so you guys can better understand, this time, the first time, those cards were a little bit more kind of foretelling kind of some of the things that were going to happen in the campaign. These cards are very specific, as they can literally lead you to the treasures and the places that will help you defeat Strahd. You don't need them to defeat Strahd, but it'll make it a whole lot, it'll level the playing field a whole lot better if you have those things. And so she goes, I risk my life even sharing this knowledge with you. You must understand this. But I am in good standing with the devil, and so the knowledge has been shared with you. That is all I can share, and I hope that what I can share will lead you to those bones and lead you to whatever fate is been prepared for you.
But of course, madame, we are eternally grateful for your assistance.
Good. She kind of looks, she says, you traveled far to come see me, and I appreciate that. I will, she kind of reaches down into her little pouch, and she said that this is for your troubles. I'm sure Vivi made you drink the fake potion of death, and therefore I will give you all a potion. It is not much for the level you are, but it is for your troubles. And it is just a regular, 2d4 potion of healing plus 2d4. Was it plus 4 potion? Or is it plus 2? Okay, yeah, plus 4 potion of healing. She goes, but those, they're special. They're just a regular little potion. But she says, they, every 24 hours, they refill on their own. You're welcome. Now be on your way.
Thank you.
Wow. This is great.
I drop a gold coin on her little desk. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Such a brown noser.
This is not from Barovia. I should know. A little town of White Sparrow? Nice.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
She drops the coin in her little pouch. And as you guys exit, you've learned some things. And now it is, you've kind of been in the Vistani camp, maybe another 30 minutes, and you travel through. So it's like 4 hours. And so you find yourself on that third day, like maybe around like 12 in the afternoon, or maybe I think I said it was like 10:30. So it's probably like 11, really. They're like, Vivi walks up. She's like, "Feel free to stay. Would you like to drink? It seems that the madam has taken kind to you. Are you busy? Would you like to hang around with us?"
No, go ahead.
We are in somewhat of a hurry, and that is not ideal. But we are in a hurry, and I was hoping that if your people would be so kind if we could pay for some of those horses. If we could perhaps pay to use some.
What are you willing to give for the horses?
Preferably gold, but what terms would you be willing to sell them for?
So you'd want 5 horses?
If you were willing to part with them.
How much are you willing to pay?
Each horse, I could do 50 gold. Would that be doable?
Wealthy, aren't you? I like.
Wealth means something different here in Barovia than I am used to, so I am more willing to be generous with Barovia than I would be elsewhere.
Glass, they want to buy 5 horses. 5? How much they want to give? 50 a horse. We can always get more horses. We get to leave Barovia whenever we want. 60 apiece.
60 apiece is, of course, doable.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Okay. And as long as you guys have the cash to pay over.
Yeah, I got you.
So, you guys.
I'm still sitting on 1,500.
Yeah. I see you.
1,500?
I see you.
Okay.
Jesus.
Einar's paying for the horses.
And I got paid out in the salt marsh.
I see Ireena balling out of
Fuck.
control right now.
Yeah.
Jeez. So Einar pays for all of your pursuit. So there's like a shot of her hand like this out, and the slamming sort of hand kind of weighs down, and then there's in the background.
Calculate
you
that.
You all grabbing your horse. As you guys are kind of getting settled, I imagine there's like a horse that's a little bit dark, like a jet black horse. There's one that's white. There's one that's like a light, like a tan. And then there's one that's white and spotted. And then there's like a gray horse. Is there a particular one that you all are picking? And
I call the gray one.
make sure for good luck, you should always name your horse. And
I'll take Spots.
that's okay.
The white one. It
You
reminds
want to
me
rock, paper, scissors for it?
Oh,
I
yeah, let's
paid
go.
for it.
Oh, you guys are doing it. That's true.
Calden grabs the gray horse.
of.
Einar and I are both arguing over who gets the gray horse. Calden gets it.
Oh wait! Oh no! You guys want the gray horse? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like call. Actually, I was gonna say Calden would go for the white
So
horse,
damn
but then
picky.
Fate was like,
That's actually perfect. That's actually perfect.
Because
Like
we
a
were
parent.
squaring up about
Yeah,
it.
and then he takes
it's like
it.
as you're arguing, he just hops on it. And it's like,
What's
He's
taking
like-
so long?
Yeah.
Rides away. I'll take like the white one then.
I took the white
so
one.
now you guys can argue over the white
Yeah.
What's left? What's
I've
left?
already named him. He is Canvas. High Canvas.
Oh, that's
we will
perfect.
ride.
Yeah, I gotta think of a name.
So then, white horse is Canvas, and that is Fate.
Fate.
And then what was left? There was a black, and then there was
Tan.
the tan.
There was the
I'll take
tan.
the black one.
Okay, so appropriately, Elder takes the black, and then that leaves that for Einar the tan. That's funny. Y'all just messed. Einar bought all the horses for everybody.
Everyone's
And
like,
his
I want it,
last
I want it.
choice.
Brown do for you.
Now I want you all to make an animal handling check.
Oh, man.
Right.
All right.
Mine is named Caviar.
Ooh, that wasn't terrible.
Is anyone extremely proficient in animal handling?
I'm
No, but I
Half
did get an at
proficiency.
20.
Oh
I have
wow!
I have a -1. Let's see.
Uh,
6.
Yeah.
as a 16.
All right. So
Mine-
Eldith, as you leap on the, I'll let you describe like how do you think you settle in or how do you approach your horse and kind of make sure it's comfortable with you? That's all you.
I'll approach it from the left, as you're supposed to with a horse, and kind of run my hand along the side. I imagine they have some sort of saddle or riding gear on them. And I'm a dwarf, so I'm not quite superhuman tall. So I kind of like reach up there to get on there. And it takes a bit of effort.
Yeah.
And then try to like be very dignified about it, sit down, and kind of like pat the horse a little bit. Like, yes, we will be good friends.
I love that in a game that the figures were like almost like god level 7s where you're smiting like demons every episode, right? And like shattering things and magical music melodies and guns that do 2d10 damage. But like the dwarves are still like trying to get on the horses. Like I gotta like hop a couple times. It's great.
I'll try and commission a stool at some point, like a little folding stool.
Yes.
That's now on my list.
Einar, what'd you get?
A 16.
Okay, nice. So, how are you? How do you?
Oh, he goes.
And then also share your name of your horse as well.
The horse's name will be Vainglorious.
Vainglorious. Okay.
So, old favorite. He's just going to play a calming melody. Get the horse really like calm down, and then having the benefit of watching Eldith do it first, he kind of just like literally like just repeats what she does, but a little better because he's already seen how much issue she had, and he kind of gets up there, settles in, and also looks just as dignified on this horse.
Awesome. Calden is sitting on his horse already. Bavo, what did you get?
I got a 9.
Okay, got a 9. All right. So Bavo, your horse, like, it's not like one of those disastrous scenes, but your horse is like, you look like a dragon, man, and your horse is like, no way.
Freaking out.
And you're like trying to like wrestle it together. You're finally able to get on top of the horse, and then the horse's back just kind of like, oh my, like it staggers left and then right, and then it settles and holds you. But it does seems like it's going begrudgingly and not as easygoing as the others so far. What is the name of your horse? If you can name it later.
Yeah, I'll name it later, because otherwise they'll say something ridiculous.
Caviar and Vainglorious have an inspiration point because you guys rolled high. What this means is this is not an inspiration point for you all, but for doing a feat with your horse, you have one inspiration point to throw in. So you got to make that little note that you guys got an inspiration for your horse. Fate, you rolled a 6. Okay. So as you want to actually tell me how you're approaching the horse, and I'll finish to respond how the horse acts.
I'm glad that I have another canvas. I've been running out of them since here in Barovia. As he's like having this like over the top like kind of like conversation with himself in front of the horse. It'll be marvelous.
And then your horse just back kicks you, and it is stressed. And then we watch him go flying like 15 feet, slamming into you're like in the shore, like halfway in the water, halfway in the mud. Then all the Vistani are like, and like Miss Vivi is like laughing. And she was like, that one, she's like, the gray one does that. You should have gave it to the dwarves.
That's white.
Oh, I'm sorry, the white. The white one does that. Retcon. The white one does that. That's the worst one. She's gonna give you issues the entire time. No one rides that one. And you're kind of like fiddling with it, and without making another check, you finally are able to mount the horse. But you, like you and Bavo are just having a tough time, as we would kind of like the shot would be as the two dwarves are just like got their horses just together in check, in harmony, in unison, as you are kind of like all trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Not so hard.
Einar nudges Eldith and in Dwarvish makes funny jokes about large people and their inadequacies.
So it's great. So now if we were leaving I take it we're leaving the Vistani camp. Are we heading to Barovia? Or are we heading to Vallaki? What are we doing? What would you
I
guys
would think Velaki, because we were only going to Barovia for the tarot reading, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Companions?
Our next adventure is fossil hunting, was it?
Oh, we know the bones are in Valaki, and if fossil hunting is the way we find them, then that's the way we find them.
Indeed. We have to find someone with a beard and roughed hands and,
And
boxes of
of
death. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there also something from the card readings about a wealthy person with connections with?
We may know
Indeed.
something about that.
Right.
Yes. Perhaps is that the dinner that we failed to make?
It looks like we may have to make another appointment for that.
And we may have to mend some some broken feelings there.
Do not worry, I have a present.
Mm.
As he gestures to his little painting, and then stuffs it back in his bag. I'm sure that will be a good housewarming gift.
Fate, you sure are handy to have around.
Why, thank you, my dear friend Eldith.
I just mapped out you guys a ride.
We can go much faster now.
Yay! Pony!
Malcolm said horses, and I was like, wonderful.
Brilliant.
And you can name my my horse Baco. I figure like I would have, I would, just wouldn't have a good sense of like what to name because like my kids are probably like
Bavo
Baco,
Jr. and
right, like or
other
like
Bavo.
Bavo Jr. or right.
Kid 1, Kid 2.
Yeah. Baco.
So wait a minute, does that mean that we have Bavo Senior?
Or the kids are literally Bavo the second and Bavo the third.
Yeah. Well,
Well, horses
Oh,
are
well,
still
well,
not
we,
machines, so they still need rest. They still need water, all that stuff. So they encumbrance. So because of that, I treated them as giving you like is moving fast in terms of D&D time, giving you an extra square for moving fast, 4 squares, 5 squares instead of 4. So that my calculations, I could be a little off, but based on where these are is it's around 5 p.m. in the day as you guys are traveling. You end up traveling beyond those big, because if you're looking on the map here, I have you kind of heading back from the Tesser Pool, going back over. There's a bridge that you end up heading over, and then right around here, there's a point where you're not. You see the same road that leads up to Ravenloft. You pass that, and then you come. You guys know those big towering statues of gates, the same ones you came in. There's also a pair here, right? That whenever you're going back, you're passing. And as you pass those, you head out into the field. You start to see the area where you see a few animals grazing off in the distance. And then right around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, as the sun is starting to drop in the sky, even though it's remember, always ominous and clouded, covered by the clouds, off in the distance, you see the windmill. Now, I'm sure that the windmill brings back some chilling memories and thoughts. You can continue on, but also remember that I'm sure that for this party, the feeling of knowing that actually they don't know that actually, so that's actually not that's for me the kind of metagaming a little bit, but just having an eerie feeling, just remembering, I guess, knowing that you guys said you were going to come back and consecrate those grounds at some point. So just thought might cross your mind as you pass the windmill. And I think you all get a weird sensation and you all think of Tav for some weird reason as you cross the windmill. I'll just ask, do you continue on? And if you continue on, so be it.
I think Calden would definitely bring up that we should consecrate.
He probably would.
And
I
it
think
was
he'd
like
be pretty firm about it.
mine and Calden's idea to do it in the first place. So what better time?
But I'll say that he also would say if we feel like we don't have the time, he'll leave it up to you all. If we really are thinking that these bones, like if Einar is telling Calden constantly that like there's going to be a catastrophe if we don't and Calden's also like, okay, we can concentrate this, or our children going to die, are people
yeah.
gonna die. So I imagine that he
Yeah.
might.
Who cares about this empty lot?
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah.
I mean, we'll be back for it. We'll just keep kicking it down the
Now-
road.
The
Yeah.
question is, do we want to continue traveling through the night in the forest, or do we want to hunker down?
Well, just
How-
saying that place doesn't really seem safe in general. Like it's not consecrated, so the things that go bump in the night, who's to say that
So
they actually
put it this way: it's 5 now. You guys are about to hit 6 in another hour. Another 5. So 6. It looks like you're gonna be. If you push it, you'd have to. So either you guys are gonna have to camp in the next hour anyway, and even though it's not nightfall, but you guys are you guys are looking at 3 hours of riding a carriage and then 8 hours so far riding on a horse. Even the horses need rest, right? If you push, you need to push those horses. You need to push yourself to exhaustion to make it to Vallaki. And what's funny is, at this point, you guys will still get to Vallaki under the fall of night, and you'll just probably have to beg for them to open the gates.
Guess we can
Elvis
stop.
gets off her horse and not so gracefully and walks towards the windmill and kind of looks back and says, I don't know why, but I have the strangest feeling this place reminds me of Tav.
Who is that?
A companion of ours who recently fell.
Ah,
First
my
victim
condolences.
of our crusade against Strahd.
Yes, yes.
Must have been a valiant one.
Very. A dear friend.
And I kind of like nudge. I pull on Calden's sleeves, like, well, I don't think we can make it to Vallaki before the night is over. But we should have time to carry out the ritual, yes?
Also, another thing to note is that camping, you will lose a day. You know what I mean? I mean, if you like, let's say, unless you do like a 1 hour rest, you just like take a short rest. I think even with a short rest, you still risk.
It wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't
because
matter.
Yeah,
You
'cause
risk.
it's
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
traveling
I'm
at
sorry.
night.
You risk exhaustion. Yeah, you risk the night, but you also still risk exhaustion.
Yeah.
Without a long rest, you still risk the exhaustion. So yeah,
Right.
it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't.
Yeah,
matter.
we have no choice but
Yeah.
to stop, really.
Because short rests are literally, they're pretty much assumed. They're kind of a part of the traveling of anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. Bravo. In exchange for the portrait I am making for you, can you do me a favor? As Fate goes up to Bavo and asks,
Of course. What's on your mind? Fate?
"Can you chop me down a tree?"
Chop you down a tree?
Yes, preferably one. And then he takes out his gun and he unravels it, and you notice that it's like has like a nice like metal carving into it in Dwarvish, and the wood is like all nice and like polished. And if you're able to read Dwarvish, you would be able to see that in the metal it's carved passion into it.
Mm.
And he says, preferably a nice piece of wood for a handle for a smaller one of these.
Sounds like a storm's coming, but yeah, I'll cut your tree.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
You wanna paint me while I'm not paint me, but paint a picture of me cutting this tree down?
Yes, I think it would be even better, a series of Bavos
Yes.
all together,
Ah,
showing all of your different sides of your pecs.
of course.
Masterful. Let
I
us
knew-
go. We are making history, my dear friend.
Can I?
As he like starts like moving Bavo to a tree.
Is there a Can I get a performance check for Tav?
Can I do a sleight of hand for the painting?
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Sleight of hand. That's fine. I'll
Tav
take
is
that as
dead.
it.
Yeah, Tad.
Fate. Dang.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Tav? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Fate. So yeah.
Is
So
that-
you're doing a sleight of hand instead of a performance. Okay.
Yeah. So I got a 15
Okay.
on it as I am sketching, and it's basically me making like first it was like the picture of Bavo and like him the posing in the carriage, and then it's him with like the like all muscled up with like the tree, like he's about to swing on the tree with his pecs out, and it's like perfect. We need just one more pose of Bavo.
Oh, we'll find something
We'll
good.
find another one.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
painting gives Bavo 1 inspiration point.
Oh, of course. I feel inspired. Thank you, my new friend.
Thank you,
Fate.
my new friends.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it does not.
So you guys have taken a moment to rest. It sounds like Eldith said she had stopped. Did she go inside of the wind? Okay, we were like, did Eldith go inside the windmill?
I approach, and you said that it reminds us of Tav. Can I do a perception check to see?
Yes. Give me an insight check. Insight or give me insight.
11.
Okay. So Eldith feels this eerie feeling as she gets closer and closer to the windmill. She knows what they did there. She's reminded. There's moments where she's reminded of that fight, and she remembers like Tav being so quickly to rush in and help the party, and she remembers herself feeling like she had no agency in the fight. Like she remembers herself going down early and constantly being down as these witches like pummeled her. And she remembers the children that they left at the now, what I want to say, the orphanage, and she just has a feeling there's something still dark beyond that doorway. She can't put her finger on it. It might take. She could maybe find it since she didn't roll high enough basis. She could investigate, or it might be she might want to back off. I don't know.
Can I do like a divine sense, detect good and evil?
Yes. If she spends that slot, she detects good and evil. She kind of casts that inside. She definitely detects an evil presence still there.
I tell the group, I say, I sense there's still a darkness in this place.
And you feel like from that good and evil, you feel like you're being watched.
And I get the strangest feeling that someone's watching us.
One of the witches did get away. Perhaps it's time to clean house.
Yeah, I smell that stench. It's a familiar stench.
Einar's gonna, on a limb, toss a hand axe into a window.
Just like before?
Just like before.
Oh my gosh! All right, go ahead.
First open window that he sees.
Give me your normal throw. And
How this goes.
And I'm gonna say, did you learn nothing from last time?
That's a 15 to hit the window.
Okay, and it's slammed. You're aiming for the window, like the actual latches.
I'm trying to
throw
toss
it
into an open window.
And it goes right up to the top where the kids were, and it flies through that window. Boom! And you hear it thump. You hear the thump inside, and it's quiet. Nothing happens. Your hand axe is up there.
Well, I'm going to have to go get that.
We got the, crazy wolves, or we got the dirty hags.
We were going to stay here anyway, so if there's something inside that needs to be dealt with,
We might as well deal with it.
I'd rather deal with it than staying out here.
Okay, let's go.
Fate readies his
inside.
weapon.
All right.
Going inside.
It's like Ghostbusters. I just imagine all right, so they're kind of cracking the door and looking around. You remember that same circular room, the smell. It stinks. Remember Eldith smashed that Icarus thing full of demons. So like that dried stuff is still all on the ground, and it hasn't aged
Awesome.
well. So it's just like skunk in the middle of that room. Like yeah, just demon skunk. Ugh. So you guys, this
And I apologize to everyone for that. Like, I'm sorry. I did that. I'm sorry.
Unique consistency.
That's saying something.
Doesn't smell great, but
so as
could be
you
worse.
climb the stairs slowly around to that first level and then to the second level, everything looks empty. There's nothing. There's no signs of anything. What else are you guys doing? Are you just going straight for the axe? Is that how we're?
Oh well, no.
I'm looking around as we're
Okay.
going. I want to see if anything's different from the last time we were here.
I'd like a investigation check from Eldith.
Ooh. An 18.
Ooh, not bad. And so as everyone's kind of walking, you watching Eldith kind of go through things, open the cupboards. You see those remember all those spices that said different things? They're all still there.
Last time we were here too. So I investigated everything.
But this time, like on the second level, you find like you're paying a little more attention to right where you killed that one guy who was running up the stairs, that one little demon. You find like a little cupboard, and you pull it out, and you find like some just paraphernalia of the witches and some writings. And what Eldith is able to understand is that like the writings, it's not like spelled out like we were night hags, but she's like, oh, while these things are a coven, but it's maybe from the writings of talking about dancing in the moonlight. There's some writings where almost like poems from one of the sisters. She talks about enjoying leaving, kind of like she loves being able to travel anywhere in the land, but her favorite is to deliver nightmares to the children. The way she hovers her fingers over there so close to their face. She writes an entire passage about straddling humans, men and women in their sleep, sitting on their chests and causing them to not be able to breathe, adding weight. That's all you find so far, like as you're going through that.
Eldith, what did you find over there? As Fade's like kind of like behind, as he's kind of like bringing up the rear.
Oh, I meant to add, sorry, that, so what you understand also from this is that she talks about it from talking about the etherealness and being able to travel to the ethereal plane. And so Eldith realizes that when these witches travel that way, if they're staying, you don't know how long they can stay there, but you know the only way to get to them if they are in the ethereal plane would probably be a high level spell. And I imagine based on how you actually give me an Arcana check, Eldith.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh no. A 3.
Oh, so unfortunately,
Yeah.
Eldith can't.
Oh no.
While Eldith knows a spell would do it, she does not know what spell would allow, what spell the party would need to look for to actually travel into the ethereal plane, or where it might be to travel in the ethereal plane. Now she does know maybe these witches can't live in the ethereal plane. Maybe they need to come back. But as of right now, what it does touch is that this witch could be standing next to you, or could be somewhere completely else right now. And it would also explain why it felt like you're being watched.
So is there a way to detect, like, can I tell if there's a way to detect where that witch could be? Or just that she could be anywhere?
She could be anywhere. Based on your Arcana check, you can no longer tell anything else.
Yeah.
You can share this with your party. And,
yeah. I would make sure that everybody knew and
Okay.
say,
Einar, at this point,
find some creepy poems.
you've retrieved your axe as Eldith is coming up with all this information.
Oh, I wanted to say that even while she was investigating from the first floor, walking all the way up, Einar's been being a loud, obnoxious dick the whole time. Like, literally, because he figured that there was something here, so he's been running through the house, come out, wherever you are. So he's been, like, talking mad shit from the first floor to the third floor.
Give me a persuasion check, Einar.
I don't know if we should be here.
He's 100% trying to draw it out.
They could be anywhere, you guys.
The nat one.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit! She's gonna grab on.
Nothing's happening. It doesn't seem like you failed. It doesn't. You're just talking shit. You don't feel no shift in the air. Just nothing's happening.
Man, I've got a +9 to this, and I've yet to roll higher than like a 13. This is like my best skill.
I know.
that
Like he was like,
suck
I was
at.
like, oh, he's bringing her out.
Do we know? We don't know how Tav.
Nope. So
Right.
we're kind of.
Okay, that's meta. Okay.
So-
okay.
We get the axe, and then me and Calden, I think we're gonna go to the monolith in the back and try and run a ritual if we can.
I'm gonna go with you.
Is this to consecrate the ground?
Yeah, at least like because it looked like the darkness when we investigated last time was like from the monolith, so we're at least going to like consecrate the monolith and hope that does what we need for the mill.
So
I
as you're
think it would be bad to split up, so I'll be coming with.
I'd like
Ew.
whoever has the highest history check to make a history check at advantage because Calden is with you, and Calden did know some things about it. So I'd like to see if and then see what he can find out.
I have a +7.
Okay,
Fate.
Fate, a history check
Oh.
at advantage.
22.
Nice. Whoa.
Yeah.
So as you're approaching, Einar, Calden corrects Einar. He goes, Einar, it's not that the monolith is evil. It is the witches who are evil. The monolith is good. The witches were desecrating the monolith, and he shows you the carvings. These are the carvings of Lathander. And he goes, they were putting the children's teeth on the monolith to make fun of it, to desecrate it. We just needed time. We need to remove all of the ichor, and then I need to spend time praying. But I will probably need, if we are going to do this, it is going to take some time. And I will need you all to take watch while I pray.
We'll protect you. As long as you can get that done, I would love to consecrate this place because then it is safe. And I don't feel safe inside right now.
Fine. If we are going to sleep here, you are right. We will not. I don't want. I wouldn't want anything to, bad to happen or to come after us. Okay. Well, I will get started. So in the next 30 minutes, he gives you all these directions on like what needs to happen, like things need to be cleaned off, and you're all working. And slowly the hour is ticking away as like 6 o'clock rolls around, as the sun is slowly getting darker in the sky, and the mist is really starting to roll off of the off the lands all around you. And he sits down in the middle of it, and he goes, "Okay, I am prepared. Are you ready?"
Pray
Okay.
very hard.
All right, I will. And then what do you all? He goes, I will leave it to you, Einar, to Eldith, Bavo, to prepare, because I have a feeling darkness will come for us as we sit, as I do this.
I cast Shield of Faith on him,
Okay.
which a shimmering field appears and surrounds a creature of your choice within range, granting +2 bonus to AC.
Okay. +2 bonus to AC.
Bavo sets a hunting trap just outside the.
Okay. Right in the area. Yep.
Yeah.
So, is there like there's like a forest? Is there like a forest around this? That's
Yes. So
close?
actually, to give you guys on roll 20, I'll take you guys to the windmill really quickly here. Let me find it. To the windmill.
You guys thought we weren't gonna fight today.
I thought we weren't. I actually thought you might not. I'm gonna roll for it, but you might fight today. Yeah, and I thought you guys might actually get through with no fights.
No, she's gotta be here, and if she sees that we're gonna consecrate the place, then she won't be able to stay here.
This is true.
Yeah, she's not going to be happy.
She's here.
Yeah.
So if you
Time,
look at,
time.
okay, actually I don't even
Go.
have to move you. If you all look on where
On
the
the map?
O is on the map, yeah, do you see O
Yeah.
where I'm pinging?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if I go in really closely here, if you go in really close, you'll notice right back here is where this is the windmill, but it's back here towards the forest edge is where they don't really have a map for this section, by the way. So that's why I'm doing this.
Ah.
So there you have the forest line, right? And you guys are right here. the windmill's here, and then the road is down here. So think of all this as plains over here, blanketed by a backdrop of trees and fog. And so however you want to set up, protection around Calden would be based on that. So, and remember, they're like giant, stone structures. There's probably 5 of them in a circle, spaced out about 10 to 15 feet apart. Calden sitting in the middle. Kind of describe for me what and then I am going to make a roll to see what happens here.
Fate takes a position as kind of like a barricade behind one of the stones with like the gun ready at like pointing towards like the forest, waiting to see if anything pops out.
Einar, I want another one of those persuasion checks, but this one's going to be advantage because of Calden. And this is to see if because here is she's either here or she's not, and she's just not here. So you're trying to draw this. So this is why I need a check to see if you actually draw her out.
Well, it's like also like drawing her out, but he's like purposely trying to draw her out. It's to where she doesn't have an advantage. He's trying to push her into a disadvantageous position by getting her angry, basically. He's trying to like get her to do something rash and stupid.
Right.
So let's shoot for a 17.
All right. Ooh, man. Okay. So as Calden begins to pray, I want to know from everyone how they're setting up. And then I want to know from Einar last, because I imagine that Einar is cursing this witch. And I want to know what he says, what he's saying, or what he's singing to bring her out. And I first want to know how everyone is setting up.
Okay.
Got a song for her.
So, Fate is setting up behind one of the, kind of like next to, well, not next to Colin, but in like one of those like 10 foot away like stone, and has his gun ready to point for the forest. Waiting.
Okay. Bavo?
Bavo is sort of just methodically walking the perimeter, kind of like heavy steps, just kind of, shield out, sword out, just looking, breathing some smoke coming out of his nostrils. Quick question, that golden armor that I found in the dream,
You're wearing it, right? Yep.
What exactly, like, how do I know? Is that good armor chain? Is that?
It's plate armor.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's plate armor. And give me 1 second to give you.
Gimme. Ooh, can't touch me now.
What's your AC right now?
18. I'm wearing chainmail.
Your AC's 20.
Yep.
I'm in.
Your AC's 20.
What's that mean? Oh.
So, man, I gotta get you a new miniature because now you're in like the golden armor.
I wonder. He's got to cut holes for the.
Yeah.
How about like the cannon flaps? They just like.
And every crit 20, the creature just grabs him by a nipple and just like yanks back. It just gives him.
That was a bad idea to bulldoze with the plate armor.
So as Einar, as Bavo's walking the woods, what are you saying to this witch?
I am playing a song that is both comedic and infuriating, talking about hags. It's a song about hags, and that how water hags are better than night hags, and that it's about how weak night hags are, and specifically how easy it was to butcher her useless sisters, and how much joy we took in killing them, freeing children, and how that the worst nightmare they could ever give me is a pleasant dream where they're not involved.
And so really close, almost all of you, even Calden, he continues to pray, almost unnerving, as close as to your ear, like as though you can feel hot breath, you can feel it kind of almost sticky and stinking. He says, "Fuck you! I killed him."
Yeah, Come on.
I took your friend. I watched the twig stab him multiple times, and now I take you.
Say it to my face.
Roll for initiative and prepare
let's
for
go.
combat. So,
Great.
so it's almost like while you're praying, even though you guys are on the defensive, suddenly out of the distance, out from also, I was going to ask you. I'll allow you to reposition any of your miniatures based on ways, because the trees are meant to serve so that you know that that's the side of the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Off screen, like on this side over here, this is where the windmill would be if you do need to go over there, right? I figure this is a close. You don't really need a whole lot of space for this battle, but you see these wolves charging, 2 of them charging down from over the plains, and they're closing in. So they're like about to enter, close to you, and then you hear the growling on this side as they begin to enter from the woods. Now, if anybody wants to change where they are, by the way, Fate, this is your guy for now.
Okay.
I felt like this guy he has the gentlemanly outfit, like the gentlemanly attire. He doesn't have the gun, but I can totally see him working for Fate for so far. Until I got a miniature in mind for him coming games. Is that fine where everybody is, or do you want to do any changes?
I think I'm fine as
All right.
is.
Can
And
we?
so-
Can I set my? Can I tell you where my trap is, perhaps, or can I just say it's?
Oh yes, please let me know
like,
where you're trapped. Where did you?
Where's Calden?
Calden's right in the middle here. That's him.
Oh, got it. I'll put it between me and I think that's Eldith. That's
Yeah.
to my side, correct? In the pink.
The pink one.
So I rolled. It's very random. I rolled 2d6, and I'm going to minus Calden's wisdom, and that is how many turns Calden needs to kind of survive. But every time Calden takes hit, he needs that turn is like he needs to start that turn all over. It won't start everything from scratch, but like he loses that turn, that countdown.
Remember, he has Shield of Faith on him, so he has +2
So
to
he's a
his
plus
AC.
2. So I also, let me pull up his, make sure I'm looking at his. So he's an armor class 8. Wow, 18. So he's a 20. Jeez, I forgot how strong clerics are, man. Some
We've got
bullshit.
2 people on our party who are 20 for this
This is
fight.
some bullshit. All right. And then this is great. He's at 38, and then his wisdom is a 4. So he took 4 from that. So he needs 5 turns to complete. So I'll put a little counter. 5 turns praying, unscathed, untouched, no problems is what he needs. And so as the first one rushes in, starting with my wolves, I'll let you know, right, Eddie, right now it's going to be 3 wolves before Fate. So, because Fate rolled 13, and they got a 18, a 16, and a 14. So first wolf rushes Eldith, second one rushes Bavo, and the third one rushes Fate. And so I'll just do attacks in that order. A 13 plus 4, I believe it's a 4 for the wolf. 17 to Eldith. I don't think does that hit her?
Does not hit.
Does not hit. To Bavo, which is, I know it's got to hit a 20. That's not going to hit. And for Fate, 15, 19 for Fate.
That hits.
Fate, give me a strength saving throw.
All right. I'm great at those. 16.
Nice. So you stop from being pounced on. You're able to stop that, but as you move and push the wolf out the way, or maybe even prepare for the shot, the wolf moves, but it leaps and it slashes, and it's able to just claw away just enough of your leather, your nice suit, to leave a tat or a tear that you'll need to repair later. That does 9 damage, and you stagger back from that. It is then your turn, Fate.
So staggers back, and then he says, "How uncivilized," as he aims his gun at the wolf that striked him, firing.
So bang, that shot goes off. Wish I had that actual sound. As the sun is like starting to set and like the clouds are moving in. What'd you get?
I got 10 piercing damage.
Nice.
But a 26 to hit.
Yeah.
Oh shit, the third one. Oh fuck, I put those in wrong. That's fine. I still would have missed. Okay. 20. What was the total damage? I mean, what?
10.
10. Okay. How do you? That one is gonna die. How do you kill it? It's a shot. This is a shot. As it.
It like so I imagine like it like scratched me and I just turn around and I just blast it away.
And the shot goes right through the side of the temple. Boom! And it goes. "Ah!" And it goes down and it's done.
And then
Bye-bye.
and then he uses his as a bonus action. He uses his second wind as he just gets this like a rush of adrenaline as he's like
Okay.
and he heals 9.
Nice. As Fate is doing that, another wolf. This wolf is supposed to be a bit bigger, but yeah, I need some way to track that. But yeah, this one, and it's gonna rush in for. And Einar, this wolf kind of comes in. It's rushing past you. No, it actually doesn't touch you. So it actually doesn't. It's just rushing like this way. If you have a reaction, you can use it, but it's not going for you. It's going for Calden.
But if it enters my range, then I think that's how the opportunity triggers.
Oh, within 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
within 5.
God, go for it.
So I'm just gonna take a swing at it as I see it come past. That's a 12 to hit.
That's gonna miss.
Dang it.
Damn.
And that wolf is bigger than the others. I'm
Big
gonna
bad
mark
wolf.
it a little slightly bigger. All right. Eldith, you are up.
Okay. I'm gonna use my battle axe and slice and dice the one that's right in front of me.
You got it.
Uh, 19 plus 8 is 27 to hit.
Jeez, yeah, of course you hit.
Just checking.
You got it.
And a 14 slashing damage.
Dude, they're not. 14. That's gonna kill that one. Yep. So kill that wolf. So how do you kill it?
I'm going to just kind of slice it, like at the belly, and then turn around and make sure that like Calden's okay.
And it like as you cut it, it like slides, it like jumps past you, and you're like, and you almost like you don't even have to swing as hard as like it leaping kind of slices through the stomach, and it slams against the ground, and you watch its entrails spill out, and it kind of kicks for a second, turns over on its belly, and dies. Whew, that is a dead wolf. Einar, it is your turn now.
All right. So I'm going to run towards the middle and then down to Calden. So I'm trying specifically not to get within wolf biting range. And I am going to poke Calden in the back, and as I poke him, he turns invisible.
Oh shit.
And so having disapparated Calden, I'm going to make noise and try and draw the wolf off while sending out some solid inspiration over to Babo.
Oh.
Nice. So you made him invisible. So I'll use this little marker for that. As you cut this wolf kind of like staggers, like kind of backs up, like what? Confused. Oh wait, did you hit that wolf, right?
No, I missed him.
You missed. Oh, I never made an attack, so I should have had an attack for that wolf on Calden, which is not going to hit, so it doesn't matter. So the wolf is like, it's almost like as he disappears, the wolf kind of staggers by over here, and it's like, wait, where'd he go? Kind of like, like kind of looking around, and doesn't see him, and then. Jeez, I haven't looked at my night hags in a while. Give me 1 second, because it's her turn. Where are my spells? Here in D&D.
You shouldn't have to look at them after this. It's okay.
We'll take care of her.
I know. It's like does not look good. Somebody's going to call me and be like, dude, you didn't... Like, where are her spells? Give me 1 second.
Inspiration D4, D6, D8.
I'm a high level bard.
He's a big boy now.
Oh, he's a big boy.
Ooh la la.
And, like, also because I'm a Valor Bard, you can pretty much do just about anything with it because, like, the original inspiration still applies, but also as a Valor Bard, it's a combat inspiration. So you can also use it for adding weapon damage, adding attack roll, or you can even add it to your AC. Like, you can use it for combat things instead of just skill checks.
It's really nice.
I have a dumb question. I can do 2 attacks per action. So in that last turn, when I took down a wolf, could I have done something else?
You could have moved and made your next attack against something that was in your movement range.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Big
And
player.
someone else's wolf.
Huh?
I said, next time it's your turn, you can dunk on your wolf and someone else's wolf.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
just,
I'll
like,
keep that in mind.
double smite this night hag that's about to pop out and attack me.
Dude, they're actually pretty like either that or I only see my at-will spells, and that sucks. So I am going to do so I am going to make a call. You may hate me for it, but he is invisible now. But when he does go invisible, she is still in the ethereal plane. So it's almost like Frodo. He crosses over, but she still sees Calden, and at that moment, she casts her ray of enfeeblement. But then, because she casts it, she also reveals herself. So she's kind of like standing on the stone.
Oh, hey.
So I
Man, that's a second level spell slot.
So no, here's the thing. In terms of the wolves, he's still invisible, and now that she's revealing herself, he's still invisible. But I imagine she's able to like attack him before. And then the thing about invisibility, it actually by the rules, I think it just makes it disadvantaged on the attack.
Not saves.
On saves.
Not saves.
Oh, not saves. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's but this is actually it's a ranged spell. I have to make an attack against the target. So
Right.
target deals half damage.
Yeah.
So
On the thing, it just doesn't say. It just straight up says you touch becomes invisible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you look at the invisibility, like what invisibility is in 5e, like when you're invisible, it's not that you're actually completely invisible. It's that, or maybe. I'll find it. I want to slow things down, but she'll get this one off. Everything else will still be invisible too. But she rolled 16 plus 6, so that should hit Calden. Yeah, it's over 20, so it hits Calden. And then so he takes. He's at full strength, but it will do Ray of Invisibility. what happens when you're not prepared to use creatures. What is it? On a hit, the target deals only half damage. Well, she was stupid because this is a dumb thing to use against him. So it weakens his strength, and he deals half. So I should have used it on someone else. Okay, so she completely screwed up. All right. So if he has to fight, which he's probably not, it doesn't do anything much to him.
Well, that's okay. She's not thinking clearly because we drew her out, so she's just being reckless.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, so we move from the Night Hag to Bavo.
And we can see her now.
All right.
Bravo.
Babo's up. Okay, so I'm gonna attack the wolf that's in front of me. So let's get wild here. That was a 17.
Gonna hit.
That's a hit. And I feel like I need to use that. Damage is 14.
Okay, and that is probably gonna kill unless it's the big one. Yep, it's a regular one.
Bye-bye.
Destroyed. Goodbye. Gone. All right, so Bavo
And-
cuts down another one right then and there. You said you were gonna say something.
No, yeah. Wolf gets cut down, and I kind of, so I stab it and try to fling it towards the hag where the pillar is. And then for my next action, as I let that wolf fly, I let out this roar that even the other my friends here haven't heard me do before. Yeah, that's about right. So like the fire kind of goes out and this just roar shoots out. Any enemy that is I think in line of sight can hear me or see me within 30 feet has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh shit! So that's for the hag wisdom save.
Yep.
And you guys see coming this way, there are more wolves coming, but not many. There's one on there, so there's only like 2 coming right now. And the Night Hag needs to make a save. You said wisdom save?
Yep.
Sheesh. Okay, 13. Probably not going to do it, huh?
13 just
Oh,
barely
13
does, so it's a
just- okay.
12.
Okay.
Yes.
And so what was it supposed to do to her? Like,
So it would frighten
Frighten her.
any creature that did not make that.
so as
So that
you-
would be anyone like within.
Yeah.
Let's see.
oh yeah, and they have advantage. They have advantage on any. It's not a spell, right? So any magic based save. So that's fine. The first one stands, and yeah. So she kind of just waves her hand, and she looks at you. She was like, "I am fear itself."
Oh,
All right, Bavo.
that's it.
That is when this wolf who's over here. So the thing is, it can't see Calden. I'm not going to treat Calden as opportunity of attacks because he's praying. He wouldn't actually attack anything. So it rushes because of your roar. Oh, actually, he should have saved too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, each
Yeah.
creature. I mean, I would
So he would have been frightened from
choose
you.
each creature. Yeah.
So
Okay.
and there's one over there too. So yeah, so both wolves would be frightened of Bavo and not mess with him.
Very good.
So then now the direwolf. Actually, this direwolf already went. So there's the 2 that are arriving. All right. So these 2 are bigger wolves as well. Sorry. And so she starts like whispering, and so as they look like they're rushing to one of them. The 2 look like they're rushing towards Bavo. One rushed toward Eldon, and they kind of divert and kind of line in a sight and start to rush in as though they're being commanded to go in this area. Now, here's the thing: they can't see. Oh, they can't see him. So they're not going to mess with Bavo. So actually, I'm going to send them to Eldon. And
Oh, shit. Sorry. So,
Hey, thanks.
they do have disadvantage on their. Let's see here. Because they're in my line of sight.
Yep,
Ability
disadvantage on-
checks and attack rules.
Okay. You said-
DM, that wolf that was right next to me, wasn't that the one I killed? Or were there two?
There were 4 wolves at the beginning. You guys killed 2 so far.
We
Right?
killed 3, didn't
Oh,
we?
then this one. If you
Yeah,
killed-
because I blew him away with the.
Yeah, you shot this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, that's why I didn't even think it was there until I looked over and I was like, oh, why is that still there? Because
Yeah.
that one should have been dead. You're right. So then these are the 2 that are just entering towards the end of the round.
Yeah.
And because they were within 30 feet of Eddie, I made the rolls for them, so they failed. So they won't attack him. So they're attacking Eldith. But you said they have disadvantage on what?
Ability checks and attack rolls.
Okay, so
While
disadvantage.
they're in line.
So first attack is a critical fail against Eldith. The second attack is a 9, 15. That
Does not hit.
So they're just she's just batting them away, blocking shield, completely unnerved at this
With
point.
like a flourish, as if like nothing. It was nothing.
Nice. So we start at the top. A lot of the wolves are dead. There's only the main one before Fate can make an attack. And the with the the witch whispering, it goes rushing for Einar. My second critical one of the night. Wolf leaps. Einar moves out of the side. You guys are completely owning these wolves, and this Fate's turn.
As Fate turns to the Night Hag and he's reloading his gun, and he's like looking at the Night Hag as he's seeing her expression. Such a visage of anger, of sorrow. I love it. As he action surges and then brings his gun up as he's done reloading, firing.
Nice. I want a perception check from Fate. I imagine the only people that, because Eldith is fighting wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Fate, Einar, and Babo.
Oh, remember you have the inspiration.
For perception, you said?
Yeah.
I got
Einar,
a 10.
Einar, I need another persuasion check. Another charisma-based persuasion.
So the perception is 18.
Okay.
The persuasion is 25.
Okay, so you see this. Einar looks up and sees this something she's moving between her fingers. Look like it might be like a dried. It looks like something shaped like a heart, like almost like a small gizzard. And she's looking and she seems a bit unnerved. And this shadowy smoke is developing around her for a second, the same way she entered the realm. Einar, what do you say to her? It looks like she might be preparing to just leave.
Going to run and hide because your sisters are dead and you are all alone.
As Einar is holding her there, Fate. So Fate just was reloading.
And he
then
action surges to attack as well.
Got it. Go for it.
16.
For the Night Hag, that is going to hit. Oh, it missed. She like shifts. She like phases as the bullet kind of goes through the shadow that was her beside her. Just bit like it was beside her head, and she kind of phased, and the bullet went by. So close.
As you can hear like the of like from Fate.
At that moment, Fate. It is also from Fate to Eldith.
So did she just disappear?
No. She just
What?
dodged the bullet, but she's
Oh.
not going anywhere. She's actually looking at Einar very angrily, and it does it. So the smoke that was enveloping goes down. She did not roll
Okay.
higher than.
But I have wolves here, so I can't do anything.
And she
about
wouldn't be
that.
able to, even if she could, she wouldn't be able to go to her turn. But I was seeing if he could hold her.
Gotcha. I'm going to use my battle axe and swing and try and hit both of these wolves in one kind of like spin move.
And we've done one whole turn. So Calden's at 4 right now. Okay.
Um, 19 to hit.
That hits. So I'll use cleave rules for the wolves, which means that if you kill a wolf and there's some carryover damage, it'll go to the next wolf. Since you said you're swinging, trying to hit.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit both of them, and it's 14 slashing.
All right, 14. So these are the bigger wolves, and as you slam your axe into one of them, it sidesteps, and then your axe grazes and takes off a chunk of flesh and fur, and then kind of growls, and the other one jumps to the side. It takes the damage, and it keeps kicking. It doesn't. Your axe doesn't even hit the other one.
I have 2 actions.
There you go.
Can I hit again?
Do you want to hit the same one, or you want to hit the one? You want to hit the one you hit, or do you want to hit the one beside it?
Yeah, I might as well hit the one that looks a little more hurt.
Yeah, you took a chunk of flesh.
You know what
off
I
his
mean.
back. Yep.
Yeah. Oof.
Oof.
13.
So that second axe, the second one you overswing, and he jumps back and wham, your axe slams to the ground, kicking up a bunch of dirt, and you just see his red eyes just growling. Doesn't hit.
I growl.
Through her teeth. So as Eldith growls back, camera swoops, pans over at our boy Einar.
Am I within 15 feet of Calden currently?
You are.
I would like to move to the hag to where I'm outside of 15 feet of Calden. I'll take the opportunity attack from the wolf.
Okay. So you're moving outside of the range of the wolf. But you want to move out. Oh, I see what you're doing.
So I'm running up to the night hag and away from Calden.
Okay, so is it do radius, or because this depends, because even if you stand here, depends on how far, because Calden is still about 10 feet away from you.
I'll go behind the pillar then, because I just want to be at least 15 feet away from him.
Yep, I got it. That makes okay. So I'll put you deeper, over by the forest. All right, go for it.
And the wolf should get an opportunity attack.
Yep, you're right. It's not gonna 15.
Doesn't hit.
Yep. You guys AC so high. I just rolling these 8s and 5s. I'm just fuck it. That's not doing anything. If I don't roll 18 or more, I don't even look at.
So I see her holding whatever she's holding, and a light clicks on in my brain, and I run up to her, and then I pull my hands back and clap as I cast Thunder Wave at 3rd level.
Thunder Wave also affects structures, right?
No.
Okay.
Shatter does.
Shatter. You're doing Thunder Wave. I'm sorry. Okay, so
what
she needs
Thunder
to make
Wave does is
Constitution check, or she gets moved.
Plus,
But then
unsecured objects that are completely within the area of effect are pushed 10 feet. So Einar is trying to move her and whatever she's holding.
Okay, she'll be still holding it, but I don't think. You're trying to get.
It says unsecured objects. I'm trying to blow it out of her hand.
I know what you do. Yeah. So I can argue that it's secured since it's inner grip, but it's a worthy argument of the.
I mean, she might not. She'll probably succeed
That's
anyway.
what the con save is.
The con. Yep. She is going to. My rolls tonight, man. Terrible. I gotta change up dice.
Lo siento.
Con save. Nope. 11.
14. Yes. She had to beat a 14.
All right, where are you moving her?
Pushing her laterally away from me, away from Calden, and away from me. So towards
the trees, 10 feet.
Yeah, if I could knock her into a tree, that'd be great.
All right, so she would fly back. She flies into the trees. I'm not gonna give her any extra damage for flying into the trees. She kind of falls down and staggers, so she's somewhere right off screen over there. After that happens, go ahead and give her damage, and
she'll take 17 thunder damage.
She'll take it. And you watch the little as she slams against the ground, the little whatever she was holding skitters away. She goes, no, and she starts to crawl.
Can I try and grab it?
It scatters away from you towards the tree line, towards the forest. But she seems to be out of reach of it. Her clawed black nails. She seems to be panicking how she's trying to reach for it.
If I still have movement, I'm gonna, if I can, just run up to her, basically, to put her in opportunity attack range.
Okay. So I'm just gonna put you off screen with the hag. Right
And
over
then
there.
as a bonus action, that was so cool that Fate just feels inspired by my bardic inspiration.
Ah,
Because she was just literally knocked off a pedestal.
Awesome.
yeah. I was witnessing that. Oh, marvelous.
And because everyone heard it, because there's just a thunderclap of
Yeah.
boom.
All right, so she just whips around on her back, and she's a. So she just whips around and looks at Einar, panicking, and just fires magic missile at level. It's not gonna do much to you, but at level 3. Let me get my d4s.
Is that a save or a spell attack?
No, it's just whatever I roll. It's just damage. You can't, unless you have shield. You can't deflect.
A shield or just?
No. Actually, the spell shield.
Oh.
Magic missiles are it's just automatic, just damage. They just rain into you. Like she just fires these like they start just like coming out of her hands. $20 damage. Stay awake! And like little like they start to fire out of her and pelt into Einar. He kind of rushing up, kind of using his magical fortitude and his armor, just starting to block it, letting it burn over his body as he's closing in distance on her. As this happens, we move to Bavo.
All right.
There you are.
I'm gonna attack some wolves here. I'm gonna go move towards Eldith and attack those. The one that had
One that looks
damage before.
damaged. You got
Yeah.
it.
Oh, hold on. I need to make a con save.
Okay. Hold concentration. Or
Yep.
no. You're... Oh, yes, because you're doing the invisibility.
And of course, as I say it, I made a 4, so Calden
Yeah.
is visible again.
Because you also took 20 damage, which I learned from Jason, which I've always overlooked that rule, is that it makes it's either 10 or more on the con save, or it's based on the damage. What is it? Goes up a little bit.
It's 10 plus half the damage that you take.
10 plus half the damage. Yep.
I'm
so
pretty
that would've-
sure.
Yep.
So yeah, either way, Calden is visible again.
Yep.
Let's Shinto. One second.
Calden warps back into reality. As this happens, Bavo's hitting this wolf. Go for your roll.
Yeah, 20 to hit.
It hits.
Damage. I use my menacing attack again for frightening. This is 14, 19 damage.
19.
With menacing attack, it needs to make a wisdom saving throw. It needs to hit a 16.
All right. How do you kill the? Oh, it needs to make a saving throw for what?
Being frightened
but it's
for me.
but the same
it's
one,
dead?
or it's dead.
Yeah, okay.
It's dead. Yeah.
Bye-bye. So I take my sword and I'm sort of coming towards the second wolf for my second attack.
So like we watch one wolf's head just like slowly peels off, flies through the air, lands on the ground.
That's a good roll. That
Okay, I found out. It's a DC 10 or
Did I think I
whatever
skipped,
half.
Did I skip Eldith? Eldith, did you? You no, you hit this. You attacked this turn, right? Did you?
Yeah, because Bob was last in the turnover.
Yeah.
She attacked 2 wolves.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. Okay, I was just
Yeah.
tripping. I skip people every now and then so often that sometimes I get paranoid. I'm like, did I?
Did it happen?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
By the way, Malcolm, I found out concentration. It's 10 or half of the damage, or half. So it's whatever's higher.
Well, okay. Got it. What's that? What happened, Bubba? Uh-oh, you're. I can't hear you, even though I know
His mic's
mic.
not working.
Your mic went off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now, okay. Let's try again. Oh no. We plug it out. Did it die? Is it like a Bluetooth mic? All right. Whenever you come back, I'll let me know what you did with that wolf. For the sake of time, we count down again to 3 as Calden is praying as hard as he can. As you guys are getting closer and closer, the witch is on the ground. It's not fair. It's not fair. There's one. Let's see, dire wolf. The one that was over here will spin around. Calden is no longer. It will try to attack. Hasn't been doing really well. That's a 19 that hits.
Shield of Faith, 20.
Shield of Faith. He's at a 20 AC.
19 plus 5.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I rolled a 19. So that would do it. Yep, sorry. You're right. No, good call, just to check.
I got so excited.
He takes 10 damage. He loses that prayer. He's broken, and you see him kind of struggling. He kind of punches the wolf in the mouth, and then he kind of staggers back. He looks really tired, and then he kind of goes back into that prayer sequence, hoping that someone will hold the wolf off at bay. He still will need to make a strength saving throw. So does anybody like to make that throw for Calden? He has a plus to his strength save. He's got a -1.
I'll make it. A -1, you say.
Yeah.
I got a natural 20.
Oh, wow. So he bats the wolf away. That just keeps him from being pounced on. So, yeah, the way he hit that thing in the nose, it wasn't going to happen. As that is happening, we move to Fate.
So, Fate looks at the wolf that's biting Calden, and he goes, "If only I had another weapon." As he is reloading his rifle. "Don't worry, my priestly friend. Help will be on the way shortly." As he's taking his time reloading
his gun and aiming it for that, for the next wolf that will come into play as he is reloading from Fate. Move to Eldith.
There's a giant wolf in front of me.
Right in front of you, yes. The only one that
and
out.
I think I'm
a saving throw, 16 wisdom saving throw, or be frightened. Took 10 damage from me earlier.
I also didn't get a chance to attack. No, I think I did. Sorry. Yeah, attack. No, because after Eddie's last turn,
is that wolf still there because of Bavo?
No, he killed the other wolf. He killed the wolf that was two. There were 2 attacking Eldith. There's one that has not been. I know that one hasn't been hit. Yeah.
It has.
You hit it on the second hit?
Yeah.
Bavo's last turn when he went silent.
Hit.
What'd you hit?
10 damage, and it needs to make a wisdom saving throw of 16.
Okay, so it failed the wisdom save. Okay, so it's been hit, but it's still alive. Because that was the first time it was hit. The other one you killed, right? And then you hit the second one. Okay.
The confusion was because his mic wasn't working.
Oh, that's probably why. Your mic wasn't working. We didn't know. I remember I was like, let me know what damage you did to it. Okay, that's why. All right, so kind of pushing back, Eldith.
Okay, so I'm going to reach out and grab the wolf by the throat and do inflict wounds.
Hopefully this is the time it works. Eldith is always trying to get this move off.
Come on.
She's always grasping at somebody's ankles.
Come on.
Okay, so I rolled a 16
You got
plus
it.
5,
Yeah.
which is
Nice.
21 to hit,
Jeez.
and then it's 3d10.
All right. Oh.
Ooh,
So
Papa.
let me just
It's good.
get
Using this on a poor wolf.
She's like, finally, you die.
I use it.
It does necrotic damage, right?
Yep. I
Mm-hmm,
would know. Like my Wednesday games, I'm known for using that spell.
Necrotic. Yeah, using inflict wounds.
Hold on.
I'm hoping she does. I'm rooting for you. I hope you get a big hit on this.
Come on, big hits, big money, big money. Come on.
21.
Jeez. All right. So you when you grasp where do you grab the wolf?
By the throat.
So you catch it and it's like barking and its tongue is everywhere and then its eyes like roll in the back of its head as like the necrotic energy rolls through it and it just starts to look like if anybody was looking, so Babo, you were just killed the last wolf, and you look at Eldith, and she has this glee in her eyes, and she lifts this wolf
She's
off
crazy.
the ground, and it's like you're just watching it, and it starts to look like it went from a full wolf who just ate to like a famished, dead. It just shrivels up and dies in her hand. But you have the feeling that like all of its like life is like almost like channeling into Eldith, and she drops the carcass, and it's gone.
Did Fate see that?
Yes, because I.
and you can hear. Now that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking for. Good job, Eldith.
She takes like a little bow and like slams it into the ground.
Ugh, gross.
Einar, the witch is staggering, trying to get away as you're moving towards her. It's your turn.
I'm going to wink at her, stick my tongue out, and cast Thunderwave again at 3rd level.
She at 3rd level. All right, so she gets advantage on saving throws. What's the saving? Magic saving throws.
Con save.
Con save. Nat 20.
Oh, come on, man.
That's all right. She still takes 8 damage, 8 thunder
8
damage, and she is not pushed back.
So she goes, "Ah!" So she's like still prone, right? And she's like crawling, and you're like, I imagine you're just like walking towards her, and you're just hitting her with like magic, and it's just like boom, and her hand, it's like you hit her, and her hands go out, and she's like, constantly trying to, and you boom, you hit her again, and her hands go out, and she's like catching some of that magic, but you could tell eventually, you're gonna get through, and you just got her like, man, like on the ropes here. Is there anything?
And, yeah, no, that's it. That's the turn. Because my inspiration's still out on Fate, and I don't want to take that away.
And then she goes, "Tell me, Ireena. Tell me." No, she doesn't even know. She said, "Tell me, dwarf. Would you have not done the same for your loved one? Would you have not done the same?" And then she will do magic missile again with that second one. She doesn't have much left, so she's with that same level to use up that second slot. 17 damage on that one.
Okay. Ooh.
Holy cow.
So she starts pelting him with like magical blast, hoping that he'll go down so she can at least run away or get away into the woods. You can feel some of her magic waning from that high level, like she's wasting valuable magic trying to stop you, Einar. And she's done. And then Bavo.
I'm gonna go to that dire wolf that's near Calden.
Yep, stopping it from.
Take care of biz. Okay, that is an 18 to hit.
Yep.
And it takes 13 damage. And then I will attack it again.
Okay.
Oh, not so good that time. That is a 12.
12.
Assuming that does not hit.
Well, that does not hit. So you swing that second one, ching, and the wolf still just looks very visibly shaking and looks around, realizing it has no one else in its pack left. Still being an animal, you can sense, and you maybe from your dragon sense can sense its fear, not directly at you, but at the situation at hand.
Sense your fear.
And as that happens, moving to this goes down to a 3. The wolf naturally, I imagine, would turn against Bavo. Attack. That's a 19. It does not hit, I know, with the 20. As it misses, it then just darts away off the field. Take your opportunity of attack as it begins to run. It doesn't.
Ooh. Yes, it does. Yes, I do. That is a 21.
Okay, that's going to hit.
And it does 13 damage.
13. So you see it, but as you cut into its back leg, you see the blood running off of it, and the creature continues to limp, the animal, and continues to run as fast as it can. It only gets 30 feet away, so it could be attacked if you wanted to rush it, but it's like right out, like maybe like right here as it's about to leave. It's still within striking distance from someone else, but that wolf is trying to get away. As this is happening, it is Yep, it is where Bava went. Oh no, that's the opportunity of attack. So top of the round, Fate, you're up.
Fate, he takes a look back at the wolf, like in his scope, like in his line of sights. And he just goes, "No, this is a far more interesting prospect." As he's looking at Einar, who is torturing this witch. As Fate's not even shooting, he is just watching.
Like through the scope, like watching
Through the scope, as the scene play out.
Fate is awesome and also just a creep. It's just
Yeah.
It's like I blatantly need help, but he's like, "Nah, let's see how this goes."
I love it. Eldith.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah, there's no combatant, so it's moving really quick. It's like back on, yep.
Where's the nearest baddie that
So to make this easier, what I will do is I'll change this up and put Einar right here, right? So he's standing over the hag, like right on side the cusp of like the forest. I'll just put like a small tree here, right? And then we'll move things around a little bit. And so would be here, he'd probably be here. He's still praying, you guys would be here. So kind of like just changing the perspective, but he's just right out of earshot. You guys can hear the magic going boom, like the blast, back and forth, him and the wizard. So it's not like you have to you just literally have to turn and see Einar's over there, like at war with this witch, and Calden is still praying. So like Eldith, this makes sense about where you would be as you turn around and see what's happening.
Can I get over there
Uh,
with my movement?
You get you like right if it 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, it gets you within 5 feet of the of the hag if you're trying to strike.
Yeah. I might as well just run up on her and just try and slice and dice from the back. My battle axe.
And she's still prone, so I should have had her stand up, but it's just more dramatic. And so I've imagined that Einar's been just kind of pelting her with magic. So yes, that actually gives you advantage.
I got a 27 on my first roll to hit.
You hit her.
Okay.
You're muted.
Einar, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
No.
Josh, we can't.
Your mic's not working for some reason.
Yeah, I think maybe it's Zoom. Everybody's mics are kind of tripping out for a second.
Yeah.
You definitely hit. So for now, since everybody's hit her a bunch of times, I'm gonna say her AC 17. So if you hit 17 or more, you hit her.
I'm sorry. A 15 damage.
Okay. with the axe. Wham! You slam. She right as your axe slams into her side, you see her kind of push her hand out and kind of stop your axe for a second as it cuts through and it touches her. But you almost feel like you didn't get the full blow with some of her magic, kind of trying to hold it at bay. But she's staggering and she's looking worn. She's looking
I
worn.
still
Yeah,
get
she
2
is.
attacks per turn, right?
Yep, you too. That's just your first attack.
Can I use?
Now you still, so when you get 2 attacks at your level, that doesn't mean you can switch off and use the second action for something different. It just means you get to attack
It's the
twice.
same. It's the
the
same like
same.
swing.
Yeah. It's
wanna
like if you were to
use
do a
my
spell, that uses your full action, if that makes sense.
Got it.
Yeah.
But if I'm just doing like a swinging kind of
Then
thing, I
you
can
can
do that twice.
continue to hack into her. Yep.
Cool. I will continue to hack.
Unless you have a bonus like action or something like that.
Am I working now?
Yep, you're
Yeah.
back.
Gotcha.
Okay. So she shouldn't be prone because Thunderwave.
Oh, you went away.
It
Would
went
put her
away.
standing back up.
Yeah. That was just me just enjoying the way I was seeing it in my mind. So you're absolutely right. So yeah, but everything stands with the first attack. Second attack?
15 damage. Second attack.
15 damage. So because you hit over 17 on the second one?
Yes, I hit a
And-
20.
Okay. And her hand, every time you slam, she tries to throw her hand out and block and absorb some of that damage. But she continues to take it. Eldith, Einar, you are up.
Muted still. There's something wrong. There's something wrong going on.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. What did you do, Eddie? How'd you fix it?
I didn't really do anything actually. I muted
It was a-
myself and then
Oh,
just waited until it would.
maybe
Pretty sure
Einar
it's a Zoom
mute,
thing.
unmute. It could be a Zoom thing happening right now. Maybe kill roll 20 or something like that. That's what
Yeah.
sometimes I do when I'm panicking. I just kill like anything that's using that might be using like bandwidth.
It's all good as it's happening.
Yeah. So
Mavo is kind
as
of
Einar,
breathing deeply, looking in that direction.
Am I good now?
yes, you're good now.
Yep.
Okay. Because Eldith is now right next to me, I'm gonna go ahead and drop using magics that I don't like hurt her, and I'm just going to swing twice with my axe.
Okay.
So the first roll is a 20 to hit.
That's gonna hit. Yep.
That's 7 slashing. And then I'm going to swing a second time for a 14 to hit.
That misses.
Okay, so just the first.
So as she
First
jumps to her
swings.
feet, she starts like her claws are long and she's literally blocked. You and her are like going hand to hand with at this point.
And then as a bonus action, I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to let it sit.
Okay. As that moment, she kind of hisses and spits at Einar, and then just starts attacking with her claws. First strike with the claw, 18 plus 7. So that should hit with a reach and does 2d8.
Oh, I'm so going to die.
Oh no.
Their claws are pretty nasty. 14 damage on Einar,
Oh,
slashing.
go.
I go down.
She's like, and so she goes, and then you see, and Eldith, as you rush in, as you just like she's blocking one of your blades, she goes, and she puts her claws in Einar's chest and pulls him out, and he falls over with the first strike. And then she swings at Eldith, and that one is and she misses you, and you're able to like pull up and block. She goes, "Come on, honey, you're next." Bavo, you swing around and you see this all happening. You see Einar dropping. Bavo, you're up.
Einar! I'm gonna rush towards the hag. See if I get close enough.
Yep, just enough for 5 feet. Yep.
Yeah. Hi there. Use my Bard of Inspiration. First attack is not hit. It's
Did you use your actual inspiration at all?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna. Oh no, I did not use that. I'm gonna use it all the chips, all in. The first attack doesn't hit, nonetheless. It was a 12.
12, that does not hit. Yeah, okay.
Next one. Yep, that will do. That is a 27.
Okay, that's going to hit.
I'm going to use 1, 2, 3 to my attack. I'm going to use frightened or a menacing attack.
Yeah.
Use.
She's got to make a save. She's going to fail because I think it's 13.
Couple extra dice.
Oh, she gets advantage. Oh, no, because it's not a menacing attack. It's not a magic.
Yes, it needs to. She needs to make. I'm sorry.
She got a 12. She got a 12.
Yeah, she needed to make a 16.
Okay.
She's now frightened. Till end of turn. Never next turn, and she takes 25 damage.
Oh shit! Bludgeoning or slashing?
Slashing.
So again, you see her every time she blocks your blow. Like she's taking the damage, but she seems to like phase and move in a way where like you're just clipping her, both you and Eldith. As it's almost like she turns spirit form. That's kind of resistant to some of your damage, but she is slowly but surely waning, but holding on, like fighting tooth and nail. She is not trying to give you all her life.
Well, I'm not done yet. Action surge. That is a 24 to hit. And I'm going to use my last of my die for, I will use disarming attack. She's still clutching that item?
No, she dropped it.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's why she can't get away.
Still going to use disarming attack because I can use the damage. And I forgot to. Oh God! What a terrible. So 14, 16.
16 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez. All right. So she's at this point. This time she just phases, but you cut her right across the face, and she's just like split, and she's starting to like gush blood across her like haggard face. And she originally, like, she came in her true form, whereas the first time you saw her, she's like one of the young daughters, but she's like, definitely like old and wrinkled and kind of dried and decrepit, and now she's like bleeding, and she looks very much so the hag that she is. Her hair stringy all in her face. She continues to spit out. As Bavo attacks, that leaves us top of the round. Calden is so at this point, nothing's. I think it counts down again. So he's close. He's actually finishing up his spell. From the top, it is Fate. So now Fate, watching this, gun is loaded. I don't know what you want to do.
Reaping.
You're on mute.
I found it. As you hear the click.
Shot rings out. It's quiet. What'd you roll?
So I rolled a 27.
Jeez.
But also I'm adding my Bard of Inspiration, the 1d8.
The damage.
6, so 26 piercing.
Wow. 26 piercing.
Ouch.
So as the bullet flies out, she kind of like almost like she feels it. And she phases and she shifts, and it like you see her like the bullet hits her like right in her chest, but it, like she also shifts sideways, so you realize like you hit like part of her, and she takes it out and she staggers. But even when she like the second like almost if you're seeing double, the second still clutches its chest and like almost falls to its knees, and then she's like, "This is fine. This is fine. I will join my mother and my sister. We will only be stronger then." She's losing it. Fate, what do you say or what do you do? And then we move to Eldith.
Fate not paying attention at all to what she's saying. Puts a gun on his back and he's starting to bring his supplies in. And he's like he's pulling out the Bavo painting and he's like, finally the final scene for our glorious
So he's
dragon.
setting up the easel and all that stuff. And so as he's doing that, Eldith.
I'm going to pull out my battle axe
Okay.
and use Divine Smite.
So you don't.
Smite.
Divine Smite. You don't have to choose to use it until you make sure you hit, so you don't lose the spell slot. So you hit,
That's cool.
and once you hit, then you decide I want to add Divine Smite to it, and turn it up. So just to let you know that. So in case you miss, you lose Divine Smite.
Turn up that holy
Love it.
smite. Holy heat.
I'm trying. 18.
That hits. So because so then you're gonna have your regular attack damage, and then your Divine Smite. She's gonna take all of that because she's been resistant to everybody else's like bludgeoning and slashing. So she will be.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
So my regular damage is a 4 plus 7, which is 11,
Okay, so she'll take.
right?
Yep.
So where did that go on here?
So as you cut her, and as you cut her, she almost catches your blade, and then it starts to heat up. It starts to light. I mean, actually, you're using that great axe, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
So
it's a 2d8.
You catch her phasing, and that radiant damage hits her.
9.
So
9
just
points of radiant
9
damage.
Extra. So she staggers back, and as that one cuts off like one of her clawed hands, and it like sizzles it and burns away into ash in the air, and she starts to limp and stagger back, and she kind of like starts to disappear, kind of like as though she's not even walking into the forest, and she's kind of in the dark. At this point, the sun is almost going down, and you just see her eyes. She's not far away, meaning like she's still within 5 feet, but it's almost like she's trying to drift away from you. I know.
If I do my second attack, can I do the same thing?
Yeah. You can do Divine Smite on the second attack as long as you have the spell slot to
I do.
spend on it. Yep. Go for it.
Yeah.
Got it.
I do.
Come on. Heat. Yep, that's good.
Okay, a 12 plus 8, dirty 20 to hit.
Yep. That hits.
Come on. Finish her. Finish her.
This could be it.
Regular damage, 5 plus 7, that's 12.
Okay.
Plus 11 radiant.
She gotta go.
How do you want to finish her?
Yeah.
So what does it look like, Eldith?
So I've cut off one of like the clawed hands.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna like grab her by the like bloody stump and just kind of like shove her with the end of my axe into the ground and then just pull her, kind of like push the axe into her neck and then pull her apart.
Oh.
Stab her that way from the arm. Pulling from the bloody nub, so it's like really painful.
So you just start to just rip her apart. No! And it's like you're shredding both a physical body that you're holding, but you can also feel all of the dark energy as you rip it away. And sure enough, as you do, she just dies. And the last thing you see of her is like the part that's ripped apart as you let it go. It's like part of her torso. And she's crawling away towards those woods, and as she's crawling, she spots the little stone that looks like a heart. And she goes and she's just about to be able to clutch it, and her body's like slowly burning away across her face till nothing's but her hand and her claw, and then it fades away to like ash and dust before she can grab it, and she's gone. Um, and as Eldith is standing there, give me Einar's there. And all of you, everyone other than Eldith, give me insight.
I'm unconscious.
Oh yeah, we haven't got these. So you would be making your first death save, which I'm sure someone will get you on your feet. But both Bavo and Fate, give me an insight check.
8.
How about you, Eddie?
Un momento. That is a 9.
9. Okay, so
Come on.
you don't necessarily pick up or like read into it much, but you just see Eldis like kind of heaving, and like the that kind of burned essence is like kind of like from the witch is like floating away, but it hovers around Eldith and kind of swirls around her. So when she turns, it's just like she's dark energy is just hovering around her and then slowly dissipates.
Are you okay there, you little one?
Her eyes look like they were purple for a second, and then they flick back. Einar's
think
still
so.
down, by the way. Einar, this is your first death save. Einar. It's
As soon as I have a moment, I'm gonna run over and heal him.
okay. So without making no need for a death save. So she looks down. She sees Einar.
Yeah, and I'll do cure
We're all
wounds.
kind of hovering over him.
Yeah, cure wounds at 2nd level.
Mm-hmm. So like a bolt of lightning, like it's a fantasy world, but for us, sticking a fork into a socket, Einar, you are jolted back to life. And Einar, you see the darkest things as you come back. It's just within a quick second. You're like, whoa, and you're back. And you've had people use cure wounds on you before, but Elder's cure wounds is different. It's like
No, it's different.
it's a little different. And you stand and you kind of shake it off. She gives you her power, you're like, whoa, and you feel some of that, like you kind of shaking off some of that chill, some of that cold that came with that cure.
Ugh. Don't let me 1v1 the monster again.
Hey, buddy, we got
Sorry
her.
about that.
You are quite valiant, my friend.
Not that it does much for me.
Bavo,
She's been drinking too much of those monster energy drinks.
Bavo, come here.
Oh,
As you
yes.
and you can see Fate painting. And as you get to the other side of it, you see the Bavo that was holding the carriage out, with the pose. You see the Bavo that was posing with chopping down the tree, and now you see the valiant Bavo with the sword fighting, and all 3 Bavos there. And then in Dwarvish he signs it.
That looks great.
Bavo hands it to you.
Oh, wow. This is great. This is great timing, too. Got the high from the victory. I can hold on to these and put them up on my wall.
I'm also going to take the opportunity to go grab the Heartstone and slip it into a pocket.
Nice.
And then is there a flash of light as Calden succeeds in purifying?
So you actually beat me to it, but at that moment,
Yeah.
as you put it in,
Great time at the music.
that was So you look, and Calden is goes ah, and as he kind of opens his eyes, they're just bright light, and all the 5 pillars go. They all light up and connect. Every room starts to open up, and the whole place glows in the room, and it sends off a blast, and it you all push through it, and when all that light comes down as it fades away, he's just standing there, and he collapses down to his knees and as you look, the entire windmill just goes and collapses in on itself. And then Calden stands up and he goes, "The ground is consecrated. We will not rest in the windmill tonight, but between these 5 pillars. We are always safe between these pillars." And then he just collapses down to rest. And in this moment, we will kind of go around, and if there's anything anybody wants to share before we close out tonight's game, literally the sun is literally setting, but inside those 5 pillars, you can hear the howls, you can hear the critters around you, but you know that you're safe here, at least from everything, but maybe Strahd himself.
Fate, he's taking the newly piece of the wood that Bavo chopped down for him, and he is and you see that he had in his like bag or like a satchel, he's like taking out these like tools, and it looks like there's like a multitude of different things, and he is starting to like carve something, and he looks like he's like crafting his next weapon.
Nice. Certainly. So he starts working on something. And as he's working, I'd also like to ask if, because, this is a pivotal moment. It also represents you guys getting revenge for Tav. So is there anything the party might do or share? I think the party at this point hasn't had any chance to share like their feelings about Tav up at this point. Maybe this is a good time for that. Maybe not. It's up to you.
So Einar actually is going to go up to Eldith with a piece of paper written in Dwarvish, and he's going to be like, "So I haven't really heard you sing before, but I'm going to have to trust that you could do this song justice." And it's a song about Tav's life and death that Einar has been writing, and it has like a male and a female part. So like he's trying to get and it's in Dwarvish. So
by the way, is there anything you want me to actually play background as you do this, or is there something anything particular in mind?
I think I sent it to you.
Oh, was it the what's it called? If you know what it's called, I can just look it up.
Give me just a
It wasn't the song that was for the wedding, was it? Or
no, it's Invincible, but it's like a YouTube cover, I think, that I sent.
Oh, yeah, okay. By who's the artist?
I think Jay the Bard is the channel.
Ah, okay.
Jay.
Because if you're gonna do this, I might as well be able to hear it.
That'd be good. Let's see, hear those
Yes,
pipes.
yes. I do remember this.
So it's just like it's an acoustic cover of a WoW song, but like it's also not in common, so it's in Dwarvish now.
Yeah, Eldith would totally take that and probably read it, wipe a tear away, and then sing.
And so Einar uses the magic to basically.
Can you guys hear that?
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry.
Perfect.
Okay.
So I can play any music on the hurdy-gurdy, so this is what he plays, and they sing.
Nice.
So they're just sitting together singing.
And so Elda sings with him, right, on this back and forth. As they sing, Fate is finished. Did he finish the page? So he's working on his weapon. And if you want to watch him carving and putting the twinkle, you can tell that he's making what appears to be the very basic shell of a pistol.
And he would look back to the 2 dwarves, and he would just kind of mutter, "So beautiful," as he's then looks back down at what he's doing.
Did Bobo add anything you to say here?
Babo just kind of tries to bring the whole group together, just kind of bring them close, and just like as y'all are singing, I'm just kind of like have my arms around y'all, like really like a great moment for Babo because again, he misses his family so much, but again realizes like you guys are his family. Also, it's a touching tribute to Tab.
And as they sing, remember all of Tab, all the great things that he had done, all the things he contributed to the party, his drunkenness, his funness, him being the first person ever like even die when they met him, and then meeting him in the afterlife and watching him grow. And so just kind of pull away and let the music kind of speak for itself as we close out on tonight's game. Somewhere else in the land, as the same music plays, as they sing under the night sky, in the church, in the back room, we push past slowly. Ismark is sleeping on one of the pews. I know the music's a little loud. I'll try to speak over it. Ismark is sleeping on one of the pews. Father Lucian clutches like his light of laughter, looking up to the sky, because he knows those bones aren't there. Back in the room where Ireena is sleeping, sitting there, holding, as though she's holding someone's hand, but no one is there in the room, and the candle flickers out. Thanks for playing tonight. Good game.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
That was great. Good job, Einar. I like that ending.
Love that song. And it just timed out. Just well
Yeah,
enough.
that was perfect. That was perfect.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
Yeah, good.
That was
good
great.
stuff. Good. Oh man. Yeah, that was a great game. That was a great improvised like game. Oh man. Because I didn't even really plan. My plan was that the worst that they could do is notice that she's still out there, but it was only meant for you to find. The only thing that was meant for you to do is find the idea that you could find her in the ethereal plane, and then you like actually called her out, because all I wanted to do is like have you guys continue on, and I think whoever at the height, like she was probably going to just tell Eldith or someone in the party like I killed him, like in their ear, and just leave it at that after they were like far and gone. But yeah, she's no more, so that's another piece to remove.
Good revenge.
from the board. Good job there.
Another one bites the dust.
I will say, as you won, there is a kind of the moving a piece in the chessboard in one direction. I will say the opposite bad is that you guys have lost a day on finding those bones.
Yeah.
But hey, who knows? But I think what you guys can do, next game when you get there, we'll see.
I just hate pushing exhaustion. Like, even though you can do it, it's like
Yeah.
it's
like,
almost not worth it.
Like the way that things were going
So
to be
you're
set
get out
up.
of jail. Oh,
I was just going to say the way that things were set up. Like, okay, we could do it. We'd get there at night, which is like we can't really do anything. We're risking like all the wolves chasing us. We'll be exhausted. The block will be locked out. It's just bad all around.
well, your get out of jail was using the carriage would have taken you all the way there and dropped you off with enough time to like get settled in that first night. But I mean, yeah, I like the way it played out, and you guys have horses now, so like
Horses and new
cool.
priorities.
Yeah.
Weapons and new reading.
Yeah.
I have to actually make note of that and remember that now. Horses. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Bucko.
And all your name. I like the caviar. That's really cool. Vainglorious. Canvas. Eddie's got to get a name. Alden's got to get his guy. It was good. That was crazy. Good stuff. Yeah, fun. It's moving things along.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was a good little, and it was a nice break from the intensity of your last couple of games. I think hopefully that was.
The other team can hear us now. We're coming for you. Gonna get you.